Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto chose Mika as his mate Harry Potter. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Glazerienne and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Green meets blue. Training ground 44. Forest of Death, Konoha. Empty emerald green eyes stared at the large tiger in front of her. The white and orange tiger was wearing a black sleeveless coat with a large cleaver-like sword strap on his back. "Your eyes is too empty, Xiaozhou, girl," the tiger spoke as he continued to have a staring contest with her. "You poor thing. How old are you now?" 7, sir. The tiny girl swimming on her cousin's very large cast-off shirt and pants replied. She blinked and adjusted the large eyeglasses that was taped on the middle from being broken too many times. "Who are you?" "My name is Gunzo, cub." The newly instated head of the Tiger Summon clan. Gunzo told her as he used a paw to pet the girl's chopped messy hair. He smirked when he saw a faint spark on those empty emerald eyes. But his golden eyes narrowed when she flinched on the contact. "It's nice to be your acquaintance, Mr. Gunzo." She tilted her head and raised her hand. The Tiger Summon raised an eyebrow, "They can do that." And placed his paw on her open palm in a form of a handshake. "My name is Mika even if my aunt calls me freak." "Mika is a lovely name. Never call yourself a freak." Gunzo told her before lowering himself. "Climb. I will take you to the humans." "Are you going to bring me in the orphanage?" "To the leader of the village, cub. He would know what to do with you. But before that I want you to sign your name here using your blood." The 7-year-old girl just blinked and wrote her name on the scroll which the talking tiger had given to her. "Ibika's Mika, Michaela Lillian Potter Peverell." "Why hi bye K's?" she asked. "What does it mean?" "It sounds foreign." "It suits you, cub." Gunzo replied as he made sure Mika rode his back properly. "Hibika's means daily wind. You are having a new life here in Konoha." "Okay," she whispered softly. Her hold on his fur is gentle but secure. "Will I see you again?" "You won't get rid of us now, cub. You are now our summoner. I will visit you once you settle in order to teach you." The summon boss started in a slow jog before zipping out of the forest. Mika's laughter could be heard all over the forest, much to the shock of a certain purple-haired Kunoichi. "I may not know the reasons why he chosen me as your guardian, but I will do my best to take care of you, cub," Gunzo promised. 0. Hokage Tower. You could say having a summon boss visit the Hokage Tower is definitely not a normal everyday occurrence even if shinobis are usually batshit insane. And the said summon boss is just on his 6 feet height in a pose of his original 10-story build. Mika was now fast asleep on the couch, hugging a tiger stuffed toy. Tiger boss summoned Gunzo. Sandame Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen glance upon his guest. "My name is Sarutobi Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage of Konoha. I take the child with you as your summoner." "Indeed. Mika is an outsider. I want a favor that you would take care of her." Gunzo decided to be straight to the point. "I do want her to be raised with my clan, however, it would be beneficial for an heavily abused girl to be brought by humans." "How old is she?" 5. 7. Even the hidden Anbu gasped in shock. She was abused ever since her parents died when she was 15 months old. According to Master, the cub is placed on her mother's relatives and been groomed to be a slave ever since she could reach the stove. Mika-chan was half dead when he appeared and took her away from that place. In addition, a set of barbaric blood wards is using her very own chakra and life force as its anchor. And oh, we already removed the leech killing her slowly so no more worries. "Mika-chan is not a Jinchuriki, isn't she?" Hiruzen asked, wanting to be sure. "Her choice if she wants. Her body is more than capable of being a vessel just like the Uzumaki clan." Gunzo's golden eyes glared at the old man. But that does not mean you use her as another sacrifice for the greater good. Master loves her so much that he will not hesitate to slaughter this village if someone think of using her as another Jinchuriki vessel without her consent. "I understand." The Sandame pulled out some scrolls. "May I know her name?" "I named her Hibika's Mika." The cub knew her true name. "The only time she would need to use it is when she get married," Gunzo replied. "And oh, we already added the language in her brain. That girl is very good in learning languages. She immediately learned our tongue just hearing me for the first 10 minutes. "Oh? We had a very promising Kunoichi if she pursue our path." Hiruzen stood up and approached the sleeping girl. Who opened her emerald green eyes which glowed in power. The same empty eyes a certain blonde held. "Gigi. Speak of the devil and he shall appear." A blonde missile came barreling inside the office. He had a mop of spiky golden hair, sapphire blue eyes that shone happiness and excitement. 3 whisker marks adorned his cheeks giving him a cute look. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit. "For the love of who's holy. That's too much orange." Gunzo exclaimed, a pause placed over his eyes as Mika sat up from the couch, watching the scenario with mild interest on her emerald eyes. Boy. I love orange. The boy shouted, making Mika wince in sheer volume. Who are you? And the tiger is talking, Dadabeo. Naruto-kun, please lower your voice. You are hurting Mika-chan's ears, the Sandaime said, motioning the girl who was now hiding behind Gunzo's back. Oh, I'm so sorry. Naruto bounded towards her, ignoring Gunzo, who was blinking in the sheer stupidity of the blonde. Did no one told him approaching a summoner with her summons out is a big no-no. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I will be the future Hokage, believe it. Mika, meanwhile, stared at the tan hand reaching for her. A few seconds later, she shyly accepted it. BBK's Mika, she whispered as she took a step away from Gunzo. It's nice to be your acquaintance, Mr. Naruto. It should be Mr. Uzumaki, Mika-chan. In here, you will speak your last name before your first like you did. Gunzo explained. And usually, you should either say please take care of me rather than be your acquaintance. We are not in a business meeting, cub. You could, however, call him Naruto-kun if he permits. Mika-chan can call me by my name, I don't mind, Tabeo. The blonde interjected as he gently pulled Mika towards his side. May I know what are you doing here? Her hand is so soft. Ani-sama saved me. She replied. Naruto looked at Hiruzen for more information, but the old man shook his head. Naruto-kun, if you want to learn more about Mika-chan, you should allow her to tell you once she is ready. The Sandaime told his surrogate grandson. The blonde only took one look at the raven-haired girl before nodding in understanding. Are you going to send me in an orphanage? Mika asked, unconsciously entwining her fingers along Naruto's. But the matron is so bad, Gigi. Naruto complained. What about mine? My apartment is big enough for the two of us, I think. Won't your guardians complain? Gunzo asked. I live alone so it's not a problem. While they are talking, Mika's eyes landed on the large portrait in the room. Her eyes focused on the blonde with a soft smile, then glance on Naruto. Then back again on the portrait. Hugging her stuffed toy on her chest, no one noticed that her once emerald eyes flashed into amethyst before returning on its original color. I do not mind living with Naruto-kun. She spoke softly. I know my way around household chores, and I know how to cook. Yada. Naruto exclaimed. Oh well, since Mika-chan already decided herself. Now then, we shall have the standard Asylum protocol duty first. The Sandaime said before ruffling the kids' heads. He did notice when Mika flinched, so he immediately removed his hand. Protocol, Gigi? Naruto asked in curiosity. Asylum protocol is the standard procedure in accepting new people moving into Konoha, Naruto-kun. Hiruzen explained. First is a background check. Gunzo-sen already gave that so it's done. Second is a medical checkup in order to know if the people coming are free of deadly disease. Lastly, a visit in T&I department which isn't needed. At all. Since we are dealing with a 7-year-old civilian. In short, Mika-chan only needs to go to the hospital. Indeed, Naruto-kun. About her allowance, Master already asked me to give it to Mika-chan every Saturday, so she had funds already. Her trust fund is enough that she would live along Naruto-kun rather comfortably. She came from a wealthy family, after all. Gunzo informed them. Money and heirlooms are useless if you are the only one left in your family. Mika walked towards the windows after letting go of Naruto's hand. She does not understand, but she felt empty letting him go. Looking upon the view of the Hokage monument, she raised her hand trying to catch a petal flying around. I just didn't want to be alone. Mika-chan, Naruto uttered. She's lonely like me, don't worry. I will be with you so you won't be alone anymore, Dadabeo. Mika harshly turned around and faced him. She could feel the sincerity of the blonde's words that made her smile a bit. Is that so? Raising her pale hand towards Naruto, the boy accepted it. Please take care of me, Naruto-kun. Sure I will, Tabeo. Unknown to the two kids, magic already made sure of that. 0. Medic Nin Kirigaya Kazumi starter day fine. Giving mandatory checkups for the shinobis, tying stubborn morons or drugging them like Mido Guy, running after injured Anbus who would not stay the fuck on the bed. You know, the usual. She was also one of the personal doctors of the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and the personal medic of the Yondaime Hokage, Minato Namikaze. For that reason, she knew that Naruto-kun is the offspring of her crush. Too bad the blonde aim is head over heels in love with his wife, Kushina Uzumaki. So when the Anbu appeared on her office and asked for her presence along her medical kit, she almost went to panic mode. Questions ran through her mind. Had someone ambushed Naru-chan yet again? Did that bowl of sunshine had an accident? Oh my god, Minato-sama would have my head in the next life if something happens to his son. Forget blonde, think of Kushina-san. The bloody habanero would kill her over and over again. So when she was taken to the Hokage office and saw Naruto-kun speaking softly, oh my god, is this real? to a very small child hugging a tiger stuffed toy, which is half of her size. Drained caramel eyes immediately catalog what she saw. Messy short black hair that seems never been washed for at least 3 days and used some shampoo, pale skin which is swallowed by a very large shirt which the girl is swimming into. Sweetpants that was too baggy for her held by a thin rope on her waist. On her neck were chubby fingers which were now turning black and blue like she was strangled. All in all, she could see the girl is heavily abused and malnourished. "Kirigaya-san, thank you for coming." The Sandame approached the brunette. "May you check Mika-chan for more injuries?" "Of course, Hokage-sama," she replied before turning towards the couch. "Kazumi-chan. You're the one going to check Mika-chan?" Naruto asked, still holding Mika's hand. The medic Ninku internally at the cute sight. "Yes, Naru-chan. Who's your friend?" Kazumi asked as she went to her knees. "My name is Hibika's Mika, it's nice to meet you, doctor," the girl said as she was about to stand up. However, Kazumi stopped her. "Same, Mika-chan. My name is Kirigaya Kazumi and I am a medic ninja," she said as her hand channeled the green healing chakra. "I will use this in or." Mika's reaction cut her off. The Ravenette started to scream as she scampered away from the medic nin. Her reaction shocked them speechless. "Mika-chan. Kazumi-chan is going to check you. You don't need to be afraid." Naruto immediately ran towards her side and hugged the panicking girl. "The green light killed Mama and Papa. Bad man is laughing as he killed them with green light from his stick." Mika answered as she buried her face on his orange jumpsuit. "I never heard about a green one kill jutsu," Kazumi whispered as she stopped channeling medical chakra. However, she needed to check Mika and her trauma won't stop her for doing her duty. "Mika-chan." Terrified emerald green eyes along confused sapphire blue eyes stared at her. "Watch." Kazumi pulled out a kunai and slashed her palm. Mika gasped and immediately ran towards the injured medic nin. "Why?" I said, "Look. Don't take your eyes off on what I am about to do, Mika-chan." She channeled some healing chakra yet again. Ignoring the raven's flinch, Kazumi placed a green-coated hand on her wounded one. The terror held by those lovely jewel eyes drained as Mika watched as the green energy, instead of cutting off Kazumi's life force, it healed her wound. "See? This green chakra is called medical chakra. I'm fine and alive." The medic nin took the girl's hand and pressed it on her heart. "Feel that? My heart is still beating. No need to be afraid, Mika-chan." If you say so." Mika allowed her to use her medical chakra to scan her body. An hour later. "Okage-sama, please tell me if the Mika-chan is a Jinchuriki like Naru-chan." Kazumi asked once and Anbu took the kids for a shopping spree for Mika's clothes and other items. "Add some ninja supplies for Naruto too." "I'm afraid she is not, Kirigaya-san." Hiruzen replied. "What did you found out?" "She should have been dead." The medic nin shouted. "When I scanned her, a 4 feet long scroll appeared on my hand. I thought nothing of it and continued my scan. However, when I learned her injuries, it's like treating Naru-chan all over again every year." The Sandame kept quiet as the Kazumi continued to rant. But when she gave her the said scroll, his breath caught on his throat. Kazumi is right. She should have been dead with those injuries. Hibika's Mika diagnostic exam. 1 year old and 3 months hit by the killing curse which rebounded. 2 years old broken arm. 2 years and 5 months 3 broken ribs and 4 fingers broken. Hiruzen stopped reading on the 2nd year. It's like reading Naruto-kun's own diagnostic exams. And to be honest, how did Mika-chan survive those things? By chakra. He didn't know chakra could do that. Sure, several could heal themselves, but the level of injuries the 7-year-old suffered made him think that a regenerative Kekkei Genkai manifested upon the young girl. "I need a Hyuga to see her chakra coils," the old man said as he eyed the Anbu guard on the room. "Tell Hiashi Hyuga that I want to see him in an hour." "Hi, Hokage-sama," Anbu Falcon replied. 0. Mika is marveling the small stall where Naruto pulled her for lunch after their shopping. She was now wearing a lovely emerald green dress that reached her knees as the beauty salon Anbu cat had taken them fixed her messy hair. The once dirty hair is now clean and soft, reaching the small of her back. Uneven bangs covered her forehead, hiding the lightning bolt scar that marred the smooth skin. She never thought that this chakra could do that, lengthen her hair, that is. And oh, she had now a new pair of eyeglasses which had a proper prescription. "Mika-chan, what are you thinking?" Naruto asked after snapping his finger on her face. "It's just this is the first time someone brought me things that actually fit, Naruto-kun," she replied softly. "All I remember is wearing the cast-offs of my whale of a cousin." "Do you know the reason why?" "No. All I know that Aunt Petunia hated no loathe my mother. I once asked about my parents and they told me that my father was a drunk and my mother is a whore who were killed in a car accident, leaving me, a good-for-nothing freak which they took within the goodness of their hearts." The adults flinched on her words which sounded like recited from too much hearing. Naruto is silent, hearing some part of her past. Freak. She was called a freak by her own relatives and grew up a bit similar to his own. Did you have any friends? Mika shook her head. Naruto-kun is my first friend. Dudley always chase my potential friends that I just stopped searching for one. Hugging her stuffed toy, Shu-chan, she continued. I hope I could make friends in here, however, I'm content even just having you as my friend. The blonde Jinchuriki felt his face burned in embarrassment, much to the entertainment of AM and Tucci. Oh, so cute. Neri-chan had such a cute girlfriend cute. AM ni. Naruto shouted in embarrassment, earning a small smile from Mika. Mika-chan, I'll leave this knucklehead on your mercy. I hope you can rein his too enthusiastic activities. AM gently ruffled her hair, earning a blushing girl. Here, for being a first-time customer, 1 miso ramen on the house. Thank you, AM-san. Mika replied as she accepted the bowl. Their Anbu guard told the ramen owners that Mika's suffering in extensive malnutrition, so she could only eat small amounts of food. And since she is a foreigner, she does not know how to use chopsticks. AM watched as Naruto patiently teach Mika how to use chopsticks. Glancing on her father, they smiled at the scenario. Baltucci remembered a similar scenario 15 years ago. Instead of seeing a black-haired girl, it was replaced with Bloodrat accompanied by a similar sunny blonde boy. Ah, time sure flies. Fast. It tastes wonderful. I wonder if I could try my hand making this ramen. Mika said as she took another bite of her noodles. You can cook, Mika-chan? Tucci asked. Hi. Aunt taught me how to cook ever since I could reach the stove. Fear flicker on her eyes as she immediately shut her mouth. The adults immediately noticed the shift of her mood. Since you can cook, can you teach me, Mika-chan? All I could cook is instant ramen. Naruto immediately shifted the atmosphere. If Naruto-kun wants to learn, he can teach you. Mika replied. I could make English food, however. We did brought some cookbook from the bookstore so we can make some, but you need to help me translate them since they are in Romanji, not English. Okay, I'll help. Thank you. After lunch, Kat brought the 2 kids back on the Hokage tower. Hiruzen did a double take as Kazumi squeal. Wah. Neri-chan. That fits you than your jumpsuit. So cute. Mika-chan is too cute. The medic nin had hearts on her eyes. Is it really shocking, Gigi? Naruto asked as he looked on his clothes. He was wearing an orange long sleeves underneath a black hooded shirt with Uzumaki swirl on each shoulder blade. It was partnered with black cargo pants with 3 orange pockets on each side, with 2 metal chain belts looped on each side. On his feet are a pair of shinobi sandals. Who convinced you to shed the jumpsuit? The Sandame asked. I did, Hokage-sama. Mika replied in an emotionless voice. It took 7 stores before we could buy some clothes. I do not know why, but their misguided loathing to Naruto-kun pisses me off. They always been like that, Naruto whispered, entwining his fingers with Mika's. That does not mean we should allow them stomping on you. The Raven answered, her eyes flashing an amethyst. Hiruzen decided to change the subject. Mika-chan, the kid stared at him. Beside me is Hiashi Hyuga, the head of the Hyuga clan. I would want him to check your chakra coils to see if they have some damage. Mary met, Hyuga-sama. The 2 spoke in unison along with a proper bow, making Gunzo nodded in approval. A flash of respect and approval appeared on the clan head's wide eyes. I am here to see your coils, Hibiki-san. Uzumaki-san, please move a bit and take the toy for a while. Hiashi said. Mika sighed and gave Shu-chan to Naruto, who took a couple of steps away from the girl. She clasped her hands on her lap and stared at the Hyuga head on. Byakugan. Mika flinched seeing the veins bulging on Hiashi's face. The adults understood her reaction since this is the first time she saw someone like the Hyuga. Hiashi checked her chakra coils. His eyes narrowed as he saw yes, she had already unlocked her chakra coils. They are actually mature for someone of her age, like a certain blonde. What caught his attention is the core behind her heart, which is a different power source other her chakra coils. And is that a block? He could clearly see at least 5 sickly colored thread wrapping on her heart core, and he was itching to cut them off. Her chakra coils are similar to Uzumaki-san. However, she had a hidden core behind her heart which needed to be freed. I saw 5 blocks wrapping around it and I do not want to know what would happen if they are left unattended. Hiashi reported. Can you remove those blocks, Hyuga-sama? Kazumi asked. I can, Kirigaya-san. But it will be painful. I do not mind the pain. Mika commented, gripping her skirt. Please take them off, Hyuga-sama. Training ground 17. Hiruzen said. Hi. Arriving in the abandoned training ground, Mika closed her eyes as she readied herself. Opening them, she nodded at Hiashi who activated his Byakugan yet again. Taking a deep breath, Mika didn't flinch when the Hyuga head cut off her blocks. At first, nothing happened until pain immediately ran through her veins. She bit her lip, containing her screams of pain as she clutched her chest. Pain's soft whimpers only escaped her lips, making the adults respect her pain tolerance. However, when she felt the last block snap off, Mika let out a pained scream that made everyone flinch as her magic rush out, being freed for the first time. The backslash of the blocks leveled the whole training ground. Mika was left lying on the middle of the crater, a pair of large black and violet butterfly wings attached her back as ice spread through the ground. Mika-chan. Naruto freed himself from the Anbu's grip and ran towards his friend. Mika-chan. Mika-chan. Wake up. He gently shook her awake. Mika weakly opened her eyes. Her once emerald green eyes are now bright violet. With the help of the blonde, she sat up as her wings vanished. Mika-chan, are you okay? I feel great, actually. A bit weak but okay. She tried to shrug but ended up wincing. I never knew I was cold for so long, it feels so warm and fuzzy. Mika-chan, Naruto whispered as he gently cradled her in his arms. Kazumi and Hiashi landed beside them and they checked the young girl. Chakra exhaustion. Along her core behind her heart. I suggest Mika-chan to be confined to the hospital for a week just to be sure. Kazumi said after pulling her hand away from Mika's forehead. Her blocks are completely removed so we do not have anything to worry about. Hiashi added. Good. Hiruzen commented. Let's take her to the hospital. Kazumi, you are going to watch her. Hi, Hokage-sama. 2 days later. Mika-chan. Naruto called out once he arrived on her private room after classes. Welcome back, Naru-kun. Mika greeted the blonde, marking the book about chakra control she is reading. How was your day? It's okay, Mika-chan. I hope you can finally join me in the academy. Naruto sat down on the chair beside her bed. Iruka-sensei said he would visit you later. He wanted to meet you after his shift on the mission room. Iruka-sensei. The teacher who is the only one who can catch you after pulling a prank. The raven smiled softly as Naruto climbed on her bed and snuggled on her side. Iruka-sensei always treats me at a Ichikaris, you know. I hope once you've gotten out here, we can have ramen together. The blonde exclaimed. Also, I took some notes for you to read. We had Taijutsu lessons today with Mizuki team. He once again paired me with Sasuke. It's so unfair, Tobeo. I'm not a genius like that bastard and the instructors never taught me proper forms. Mika narrowed her eyes in anger as she gently raked her fingers on those blonde locks. Biting her lips, she wanted to help Naruto. Beauty think Ani-sama could help you with that. Ani-sama. The blonde repeated. Yumu. He is the one who took me away from my relatives. She hugged Shu-chan. However, I am not sure if you could see him. I have been told that he only appears in my eyes. Is he a GGG ghost? Naruto stuttered. No. He is not. Mika could not help but to giggle on her friend's reaction. Closing her eyes, she held his hand. Ani-sama, we would like to speak with you, please. When they opened their eyes, they are not in the hospital anymore. They are currently sitting in a large fluffy bed as Mika crawled over the large queen-size bed. Reaching the rather large bundle in the middle of the bed, she poked it. Only to be replied by a groan. Giggling, emerald eyes met mischievous sapphire blue ones as they poke and prod the bundle until the said bundle threw the covers and tickled the shit out of Naruto who gotten caught. Oh, who are you? You are not my cute Mika-chan. The black-haired violet-eyed male who was only wearing sweetpants asked as he gotten a good look on the child he was tickling the shit out. I caught her. A lovely caramel-haired young woman with ocean blue eyes said as she hugged Mika who was giggling. Hadrian and Isama, Satsuna Onasama, Mika called out as she freed herself from Satsuna's hold and then snuggled at Naruto instead to her brother. Mika, I want my hug. Hadrian whined as he took the 2 giggling kids in his arms. So who wants some snacks? Caramel cookies. Mika raised her hands. What's caramel cookies? Naruto asked. 3 sets of eyes stared at him in horror. What? You never had caramel cookies? They the gift of the gods next to treacle tart. Hadrian exclaimed. No. It's ramen, Dadabeo. Treacle tart. Ramen. Both Mika and Satsuna rolled their eyes at the boys. I miss you, Mika. How is my cute little sister-in-law? Satsuna asked, ignoring the ongoing debate of the boys. I'm fine. I am currently in the hospital for observation since they removed the blocks in my core. The younger girl replied. They also fixed my hair. Look, they're longer now. I see. But longer hair suits you like this. Satsuna touched those wavy black locks which grew past her knees. Summoning a hairbrush and a pair of cute emerald green ribbons, she started braiding Mika's hair into twin tails. Glancing on the mirror, Mika gasped as she saw her new hairstyle. I love it, Wani-sama. I'm going to keep it. The caramel-haired woman let out a squeal and hugged the raven chibi. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Too cute. Satsuna tickled the shit out of her while Hadrian and Naruto are having a wrestling on the other side of the bed. Wah. Tsunade-sama, stop. Mika shouted, laughing her ass out as she tried to crawl away. Ani-sama, save me. Naru-kun. Adrian and Naruto stopped their wrestling before pouncing the girls. Sheer laughter and happiness filled the once quiet Peverell manor. So, it seems that Naru-kun's education is being sabotaged just because of sheep mentality. Setsuna summarized the whole scenario while they are having breakfast. It's early morning in England, well it's already late afternoon and Konoha consists of waffles, omelets and some salad. Just how ignorant are they? She added in a deadpan voice. Ignorant enough to blame an innocent baby who is the only one protecting them. Hadrian replied as he drank his coffee. Violet eyes watched his cute little sister comforting Naruto who finally knew why the villagers hated his very existence. Naru-kun is Naru-kun. I do not care if he had a fox on his gut or whatever. Mika exclaimed as she hugged the blonde. I may just met Naru-kun 2 days ago, but he is important to me like Ani-sama, Wani-sama and Gunzo-sama. Naruto faced his friend. Seeing her crying for him and announcing he is one of her precious people made his eyes watered. Mika-chan. Naru-kun, everything will be okay. You promised me you will be in my side, right? Mika gave him a watery smile. Then, allow me to be with you. As long as Naru-kun wants me, I will stay in your side forever. Adrian felt his eyebrow twitch as his sister complex kicked into full gear. Setsuna, meanwhile, immediately held her husband before he do something drastic. Adrian, no. Setsuna whispered harshly on his ear. Remember the reason why we allow her to live in Konoha. The raven-haired man closed his eyes when he remembered the reason why. Sighing, he opened his violet eyes and drank his remaining coffee dry. Thanks for reminding me. The brunette rolled her eyes. Ma, you will be lost without me, anyway. Lost in the way of life, Mika stage whispered to Naruto before dragging the blonde away. I want a baby niece. The couple froze before both blushed. Currently working on it, brat. Hadrian shouted, much to the mortification of Setsuna. Work harder, Ani-sama. Setsuna's face now resembles a ripe tomato. Sure thing. The raven male cackled in glee as he watched his wife speechless before pouncing the said wife. Bibi Bakahari. Not here, you pervert. Setsuna's voice rang on the dining hall as the kids ran towards the library. Ha Harry ah. Soft giggles and moaning filled the air. Naruto watched Mika grab some thick tomes from the library. A maid is following them around. Sapphire blue eyes wander on each titles until they landed on a thin text. Jutsu for Beginners, written by Uzumaki Arashi. Curious, he picked up the said book, sat on a table and opened it. The chibi blonde thought he would get bored, but 10 minutes later, he is fully immersed on his reading. Naru-kun, what are you reading? Mika asked, sitting beside him holding a thick book titled Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander. Jutsu, Art of Sealing, Databeo. Naruto replied, his eyes never leaving the pages of the book. You're in Uzumaki, right? I think Ani-sama had a family tapestry somewhere. Oh, I know. We can ask him to brew us an family tree potion later. Once they are not busy. Anyhow, not important as of now. I hope I would know when Ani-sama would start teaching us. Me with magic and you in chakra. The Ravenette said knowing that her friend isn't listening anymore. When Naruto didn't reply, she just rolled her eyes and opened her book. A large smile adorned her cute face when the first thing she saw fascinated her. It's all about dragons. 0. When Hiruzen visited the two on the hospital accompanied by Yamino Iruka, they were greeted with a cute sight. Both Mika and Naruto are on the bed, sleeping soundly. 2 sets of books are placed on the bedside table with a note each, noting whose books were they. Hiruzen approached the book and with an raised eyebrow, saw that one pile were Jutsu beginner's book, while Mika's own pile were all about this magical education. Should we wake them up, Hokage-sama? Iruka asked. I think Mika-san needs more rest. Even so, it is almost dinner time, Yumino-san. Kazumi replied as she and the nurse, Mayumi-san appeared with a trolley. Mika-chan needs to drink her medicine. Greetings, Hokage-sama. Kazumi-san, Mayumi-san. The Sandaime greeted the 2 medic nins. Because of the noise, Mika and Naruto woke up. Yawning, Mika buried her head on Naruto's chest, feeling cuddly all of a sudden. However, sensing a new chakra signature, she blinked and gingerly sat up, taking the drooling blonde with her. Naru-kun, we had a visitor. She spoke softly. Gigi and Iruka-sensei, Naruto said as he sat up and stretched. Where's my book? Eat first, Naru. That book won't be going anywhere, you know. Mika rolled her eyes, a vast improvement from the emotionless and skittish girl 2 days ago. The blonde pouted. Ugh, fine, Mika-chan. The young girl giggled as she poked Naruto's nose, earning an annoyed look from the said blonde. The scene made the Hokage raised an eyebrow. I heard Itachi-kun used to poke his younger brother in the forehead, according to Shisui-kun. He thought. Mika-chan, meet Yumino Iruka, he is Naruto-kun's academy teacher. Iruka-kun, meet Hibika's Mika, our new resident and Naruto-kun's roommate. Hello, Mika-chan. It's nice to meet you, Iruka said as he raised his hand gently and gave her a soft pat on the head. The Hokage told him that Mika is an abused child, so he is way too careful. Likewise, Iruka-sensei. Mika replied warmly. Thank you for taking care of Naruto-kun all this year''s. Iruka felt his jaw dropped at the very polite answer. His head whipped towards Naruto who was clueless on his teacher's reaction. Oh dear, how did you befriend such polite girl, Naruto-kun? Oh, it's simple really. The blonde replied as his sapphire blue eyes stared at his own black ones. His smile resembles him too much. I just promised I won't leave Mika-chan alone in her life. Anyway, what's for dinner? I was suddenly craving for some spaghetti. Mika changed the subject and shook her head. Only Iruka and Naruto noticed her eyes flashed into violet for a second before finally noticing the Hokage. Good evening, Hokage-sama, Kazumi-san, Mayumi-san. Did someone saw my glasses? Naruto grabbed the green eyeglasses case with tiger sticker beside him and gave it to her. Thanks, Naruto-kun. You're welcome, Mika-chan. Anyway, I brought some ramen from Ichikaru's. I hope you will get well soon, Mika-chan. Am-san and Tucci-san sends their get well wishes to you. Iruka placed a bag full of ramen takeouts on the table. Thank you, Iruka-sensei. You should not have bothered, Mika said as the scarred chunin placed a small bowl of beef ramen in front her. No worries, as long as you help me rein this knucklehead when he goes around pranking, it's fine. Iruka answered as Naruto let out an indignant hey which earned them a laugh. If Iruka-sensei wishes to, I have no problem. However, I make no promises in joining once the mood strikes. The kids shared a giggle when the adults paled. Oh hell no. 0. A week later. Naruto Mika slowly drawled in a sing-song voice once she was inside Naruto's two-room apartment. Mika-chan, I'm so sorry, the Jinchuriki wailed, hugging his best friend's waist. Bunzo, Hiruzen and Iruka watched in undisguised glee as she scolded the blonde softly about keeping his house clean or at least presentable. Now, help me clean up. Moo, how troublesome. Mika shook her head in exasperation as she produced a stick of all things and was about to flick it. Mika-chan. Harry Niacin said no magic until later next week, to Bayo. Naruto reminded her. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Now, let's do it manually. The ravens start picking up the empty ramen cups and threw them inside a trash bag. Her moves are precise and swift, leaving the corner she is cleaning clean and sparkling. Naruto followed her lead as Iruka decided to help along Gunzo. The Sandame also wanted to help, but Mika pushed him in the sofa and served some tea. No senior citizen should be more careful. Shinobi or not, you are now old, no. Mika said in her soft voice. She might ignored the gawking of Iruka, the hidden four Anbu guards, and the roaring laughter of Gunzo and Naruto. Speaking of which, since Nano is already a senior citizen, did you already received your monthly pension? The impromptu general cleaning took them the whole day. Mika is the one who cooked both lunch and dinner after slamming the cupboard rather loudly, writing a foot-long grocery list, and politely asked the Anbu hanging on the window, Anbu horse, to buy them after dropping a bag full of coins on the said Anbu. When checked, the man almost fainted when he saw they are real gold coins. Galleons are gold coins, sickles are silvers, and nuts are bronze. The galleons are highest followed by sickles then nuts. They are the currency in my trust fund. The young girl told them. Gunzo-sama, how much did Ani-sama gave you? She turned towards the napping summon. 10,000 galleons. The bag is bottomless anyway. The said summon boss replied after a jaw-breaking yawn. 10,000. 1 galleon is worth of 150 ryo. That means my weekly allowance is 1.5 million ryo. Mika scratched her head. I need to put half of them on the bank. It's too much even with the overpriced goods those pathetic mongrels sells to Naruto-kun. As Mika being a foreigner, Iruka volunteered on teaching the 7-year-old kanji since the alphabet she knew is different. While in writing, Mika forced Naruto to learn her own language so the blonde could speak to her in private. Not that Naruto complains. He likes listening to Mika's voice since the young girl is a genius, she could clearly and much easier explains what the subject the said blonde struggles on. And since they have a private tutoring from Hadrian and Satsuna, their knowledge expanded. It took 3 months before Mika finally convinced Naruto to visit his tenant. I already told you, Naruto-kun is Naruto-kun. I do not care if you had a giant fox sealed on your tummy or you are a human sacrifice. Mika told him when Naruto voiced his fear. Entwining their fingers, she pressed her forehead on his. You promised you will stay by my side forever. I will do the same, Bakuruto. You are precious to me, you know. I'm sorry on doubting you, Mika-chan Nato murmured. You know, I thought you would be so skittish since the trauma you have. I thought so, actually. Mika admitted as they fell on the bed. However, Orange said you are important to me, so is Iruka-sensei, no, Kazumi-chan and Mayumi-chan. I don't know why, but I feel safe with Yaoi like this feeling, Naru-kun. Likewise, Mika-chan. The two pressed their foreheads together then closed their eyes. Opening their eyes, Mika gave her best friend a deadpan look while Naruto scratched his head. The sower. The raven-haired girl drawled silkily. My oh my, I never peg you having such a dirty mind, Naru-kun. How does it became my fault, Mika-chan? And for your information, I do not have a dirty mind, Tobeo. Naruto pouted as he noticed the ankle-deep water. Glancing on Mika, he saw her shiver in disgust. I want a very thorough shower after this. The young summoner dragged him towards the hall. Might as well follow the way. Indeed. It took forever to reach the location of the seal. It was a large carven-like cage where a sleeping monster of orange currently is. He is big. Naruto commented. He looks like a cute fluffy bunny. Mika said. I do not look like a cute bunny, the Kyuubi no Yoko roared after hearing her comment. I am the great Kyuubi no Yoko, the strongest of the Bijus. Really? With those ears, I beg to differ. You insolent bride. It might be a shock, but Mika is actually a sarcastic bitch, a random civilian said after running a cold tongue lashing Form the Raven for speaking bad things at Naruto. When the mood strikes. Her poker face, which rivals Itachi Uchiha, is legendary along her cold charisma where she could insult anyone she wanted and the morons could never thought that she is insulting them. Insults she lovingly wrapped inside praises. Mika-chan, please don't bait him anymore. Naruto pleaded as the two continued to throw insults on each other. Both of you, stop. Fine HMP, Mika and Kyuubi replied. Well then, we came here to see you, Kyuubi. The blonde turned towards the Biju. I was actually waiting for you to arrive. The seal is too tight for me to contact you, brat. Kyuubi laid his head over his paws, staring at the two kids. I never thought I would see you as a scrawny brat, Himejimi. Himejimi? Mika tilted her head in confusion. Do I know you? The fox let out a rumbling laugh. I know you, Himejimi. You might not remember me yet, so is the brat, but you will remember. Maybe not today but soon. Kyuubi then looked at his Jinchuriki. Same as you, Naruto Namikaze. But your training will start now. I refuse having you weak again and sabotaged. Who am I to reject such offer? Naruto smiled softly before giving the Biju a polite bow. Thank you for the offer. Oh, it appears having Himejimi early on your life is quite beneficial, indeed. Kyuubi shook his head in amusement. Of you having manners. Boy. That's below the belt, furball. It's true, brat. You only learned appropriate manners when you are 14 and that's when Mika-chan hammering them on your head by freezing your balls, so is the Uchiha. Not a bad idea. Mika shrugged her shoulders as Naruto stared at her in disbelief. Did you came from the future, Kyuubi-sama? By your words, especially when you slip Naru-kun's age, it appears so. Indeed I am. Are you going to ask? It is your choice if you would tell us. I have no reason to force you. Correct answer. Kyuubi stared at the two kids. I shall contact the two of you later. Himejimi, you should check yours. My brother is waiting for you. Well then, I won't make him wait any longer, Kyuubi-sama. Call me Kurama. The Biju let out a sigh. Take care of this idiot, will you? He is needed so my favorite kid would be born 20 years from now. Okay, both Naruto and Mika replied before they are kicked out of the mindscape. You know, it's not that bad, Naru-kun. I do agree. 0. 2 months later. I'm bored. Mika said as she closed the book she is reading. Is the subject not interesting enough, Mika-chan? Hiruzen asked curiously, looking from the letter he is working on. The subject of flower arranging is quite interesting, but no, even if I am named after a flower. The raven replied before hiding her book inside her bag. Naru-kun is still in school so it's kind of boring. How about you take a walk? I have my Anbu watching you from afar. Okay, no. I really didn't spend my time outside. This 6 months has been good for her along with Naruto. The two scrawny kids are now gaining healthy weight as Hadrian is the one who is supplying their food. A house elf named Candy, a Peverell elf, is also taking care of them. The poor elf is so confused why her missy Mika won't allow her to cook their meals. Mika just explained that cooking is her hobby along gardening, which is a joint effort with Naruto. After that, they allowed Candy to do the other chores which the elf happily tended to. Especially disposing rude operatives. She's very skillful on that. Hail house elf magic. Mika furrowed her eyebrows remembering those terrible tasting potions Gunzo always forces on their throats. Sure, they are needed, especially nutrition potions, but hell, their taste should be illegal. Izumi was actually spreading the misery by giving the Konoha shinobi's amputees Skelegro potions. And we knew how bad that fucking potion tastes and feels like. Pushing her eyeglasses up on her eyes, Mika noticed he arrived on the mission room. Taking a peek inside, she could see various of Jounins along with their genin teams and chunins taking care of the paperwork. Her eyes landed on the haggard-looking chunin. Uru-chan. Imino Iruka rubbed his temple as his chocolate eyes landed on the cute girl calling him. "Oh, Mika-chan," he exclaimed as the girl clad in a cute yellow dress wearing a green backpack tried to climb on the table. "What are you doing here?" "I was taking a walk, Ruru-chan." Mika replied before poking his nose, a habit she created when she was about to scold or lecture someone. "You should be taking a break." Iruka let out a soft laugh and ruffled her hair braided into a bun. "Unfortunately, I still have 3 hours before my shift ends, Mika-chan." "You are about to collapse along the others," she pointed out. "It's okay. Today is pretty tame." Actual Iruka was cut off when Mitarashi Anko punched a random jounin, who hit another jounin. The said poor moron was slammed on a female jounin who was carrying a scroll which flew around. The said scroll hit another jounin who lighted with fire. All in all, chaos. "Pretty tame, huh?" Mika said in a deadpan voice as she saw her favorite chunin having a full migraine. "Oh well." Brandishing her newly created wand, Elder Mist wand with 4 cores complicated enough to be remembered, she flicked it and stunned the jounins. Only one managed to evade those stunners. "Now, please behave." "Why, I never thought of throwing stunners around is beyond me," Iruka moaned. "That means you are stressed beyond reason, Ruru-chan. What you need is old-fashioned full-body massage and a night in a hot springs," Mika said as she dragged and placed the stunned jounins in a corner. Once she is finished, she pulled a sealing scroll from her bag and activated it, revealing a beautifully made chocolate cake and some coffee. "Here, have some snacks." To say, she now had the adults worshipping her for her baked goodies. 0. Uchiha Sasuke woke up with a start. Eyes with fully matured Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan met the dark ceiling of the supposed to be destroyed Uchiha apartments. What the fuck happened? He thought as he carefully sat up from the bed. The entire room looked like the one he had before he left Konoha. Looking on his right arm, he sighed. Looks like he came back to the past, huh? Sasuke hit his head on the bed. It's either Mika or the dope's fault. Somewhere, a raven and a blonde sneezed. However, brooding won't do any good to him. It's tried and tested. Good thing he could deactivate both Rinnegan and Sharingan. Sasuke decided to fix himself and plan his next move since he is not sure if Mika remembers or if she is in Konoha. The dope is 50-50 and he has no clue if even Shikamaru remembers. And Itachi, we should not forget about brother dearest. He needs his older brother, especially when the dope took his sister's chastity. Again. Let's just say he was traumatized having the luck of walking on those two on the Hokage office with Mika chained on the chair. An insane and dark laughter filled the apartment, much to the horror of a passing Anbu. Naruto felt such dark shivers ran through his spine. What the hell was that, Tobeo? Mika rolled her eyes when she saw the orange bento box sitting innocently on the table 2 days later. Naruto forgot his lunch box. Picking up a said box, she sealed it along 2 other lunch boxes. Good, I need a reason to visit the academy. Really, Mika-chan? Raiden, her personal tiger summon and Gunzo's 3rd son who is young enough to be her partner. Why is that? Naruto does not want me to see Sasuke. He was a bit afraid I would fall for his brooding. Mika replied in amusement. Silly Naru. Actually, she is just bored. Raiden jumped on her shoulders as a purple slug with 6 black tipped tails raised his head from Mika's hair. The said slug had the same shade as her hat, so he was hardly noticed. Seiken, the Rakubi Biju, or rather, his other version, that is. Flashback. Kurama-sama said we should visit my own mindscape. Mika said once they are having dinner, a few days after they first spoke to the fox. I would like to do it now, honestly. I shall accompany you then, Naruto replied, cutting any arguments. Of course you will. After dinner, they closed their eyes and pressed their foreheads together. When they opened their eyes, they are greeted by the sea of white lilies. In the middle of the flower field is a giant slug bearing 6 tails. Seiken, the 6th Biju. Mika murmured. Beady eyes met her emerald ones. Unlike the Kyuubi, Rakubi has no chains or collar whatsoever. Bachala, colorful bubbles added on the background. I am glad you are fine and healthy, so are you, Naruto-kun. Hello, Seiken-sama. The two greeted him. So it appears you two haven't remembered yet. Seiken bowed his head down to meet the kid's face. Even so, it's nice to see you two again. Does this makes me a Jinchuriki like Naru-kun? Mika asked. Did my parents sealed you in me when I was a baby too? Your parents, you could hear the sheer venom and distaste on the Rakubi's voice. Did not sealed me on you, young lady. I willingly sealed myself on you when my original Jinchuriki, Utakata of the Mist, died. Mika's eyes flashed into violet as a black book appeared on her hands. The said book opened its pages until it landed to the profile of Utakata. He is still alive. Your unique bloodline made me different from the Seiken of this time. It makes us two different Biju, while Kurama merely merged with his past self. And since he is a full one, he easily overtaken his past self. Seiken fully explained. My bloodline. You are a powerful witch and your friend is a cage. Your union produced a little terror of genius who basically resembles his grandfather. However, the future we came from is too dangerous, leaving us with no choice but to turn back. Seiken hugged them with his tails lovingly. I already lost you to Kata and Bolt. I would not allow grandmother to destroy you once again. That raises too many questions, even you gave us so many clues, Seiken-sama. Naruto complained as Mika kept quiet. But at least, you gave us some answers that the fuzzball does not want to say. Kurama-sama wanted us to remember first, you know. He could just tell us, Dadabeo. Here, both Mika and her Biju rolled their eyes in exasperation. End of flashback. In the end, same as Kurama. They both have personal tutorings from their respective Bijus. And just conveniently forgot to tell the Hokage about Mika's tenant. Kurama and Seiken decided it would be too dangerous if someone other than them learned that there is not one but two Konoha and Shiriki, hell would break loose. Add the political bullshit too. Checking her appearance on the mirror, Mika smiled. She was wearing a purple t-shirt partnered with black jacket with the Peverell crest on her back. Her bottom was clad with purple short shorts, white thigh-high socks, and a pair of black ankle boots. Picking up her shoulder bag, Mika shrugged her shoulders, seeing her magic tied her hair into her usual high twin tails. Now then, let's visit the academy. Academy? Ah. I forgot my lunch. It seems your brain cells reverted back being a dope. Hey, you also have forgotten yours, so you have no say in this. Naruto exclaimed as Sasuke rolled his eyes beside him. Besides, as long as you have tomatoes, you're happy. The Raven turned away with mild embarrassment. You know, you could have just called Candy to have your lunch delivered. Mika pointed out, sitting beside her blonde best friend. Really, Mika? Both boys paused. Mika. Chaos, she greeted them, giggling in their antics. I brought lunch since a certain someone have forgotten his. Good thing I was craving for tomato-related foods, so I brought lasagna. Sasuke did not hide his dreamy look, which actually scared the shit out of the blonde. What the hell, team? You're drooling. Mika-chan's foods are worth drooling for, dope. Mika rolled her eyes. Okay girls, stop it, you're both pretty. She ignored the spluttering looks the boys threw at her as she laid down a blue picnic mat on the ground. Help me here. And they did. Do you remember Miyamoto? Sasuke asked in silence. Naruto whipped his head towards the Uchiha while Mika blinked. Then drank her tea first. The middle brother which been tricked by Iden because he once said you had a female duck on your head and you thought she will lay you an egg so you can have a pet duck. That's Sasuke. They all stared at her, even Iruka followed by Shikamaru. 5 seconds later, they all burst out laughing while Sasuke blushed in embarrassment while Mika just drank her tea as cool as a cucumber. Michaela. I thought we won't be talking about that. Oh, did we? Emerald green eyes glitter in mischief. My apologies, Anaichen. It slipped from my mind. That earned her a poke in the forehead. Ow. Mika-chan, Iruka called her as the trio looked at the academy instructor. You made your escort worried since you vanished without trace. Naruto forgot his lunch and eating alone is kind of lonely. She admitted. Want to join us, Iruka-sensei? Shikamaru-san. Nice seeing you again, Haim. Shikamaru greeted her, making Iruka rose an eyebrow while Naruto passed a lunchbox to the Nara heir. I'm glad you are making friends, Mika-chan. Iruka commented as he ruffled her hair. We are going to be team Dadabeo. Naruto exclaimed. I'm the 7th Hokage, Mika-chan, and Shikamaru are my advisors, while team is my Anbu captain. I'm actually aiming on becoming the next head medic and seal mistress, Naru-kun. Mika told him. And being Mrs. Uzumaki Naruto. Shikamaru added. Hell no. Shikamaru. The trio shouted. Not my sister, Nara. Sasuke's eyes glimmer in red for a moment as he hugged the stoic girl like some stuffed toy. Team, let Mika-chan go. Naruto shouted. No. Yes. No. Yes, and let her go. Idiots, a lot of you. Seiken blew several bubbles towards the boys which zapped them, letting Mika go. Ah. Seiken. Moo, troublesome. Shikamaru commented as the Ravenette sat beside him. Do you remember? It's in pieces actually. She admitted while the boys are currently wrestling on the ground and Iruka was too amused to break it. How about you? Seiken told me we would remember gradually while the furball won't talk until we do. I do not know how and why we are back, but welcome to Konoha, Haim. When are you going start wearing a Uchiha crest again? You know Sasuke will be demanding you to wear them again. The Nara heir asked. After he finalized the paperwork. Like what I did. They both hate paperwork. 2 words, Cage Bushin. In the Hokage tower, the sandames stiffen. Why do I feel that someone found out the way to battle the greatest enemy of all cages? I just wish they both stop pushing their works on us. If they try yet again, I won't hesitate to freeze their balls, husband and brother or not, it's not a reason. Mika finished her tea, then glanced on Naruto and Sasuke, who were both dripping wet because of Seiken. Are the two of you done on your childish squabbles? Yes. The two replied as she dried them up with a flick of her wand. Finishing their lunch, Sasuke immediately latched on her while Naruto rolled his eyes in exasperation. And since the last Uchiha won't let her out his sight, Iruka allowed Mika as a guest on his class. Also, add to the fact she is immune to the glares of the fangirls. They are cockroaches. Mika commented as she sat next to Sasuke while Naruto sat on his right. Shikamaru returned to his seat next to Choji. HN. It's always been like this because team is so cool and mysterious, Naruto said, with complete fangirl look that made her giggle in amusement and for Sasuke to glare at him. Well, it do runs through the family. The emerald eye girl glanced on the board. Being in a classroom and studying with fellow classmates is kind of wonderful, to be honest. Ignoring the glares thrown at her by the fangirls for being near their precious Sasuke-kun is easy. But irritating, especially the most vocal ones, Yamanaka Ino and Haruno Sakura. Let me get this straight that even your pea-sized brain could comprehend, her eyes flashed into Avada green, making the two banshees gulp in fear. Your precious Sasuke-kun does not want neither of your annoying affection. And do please spare our ears with your restless shrieking. Shinobis are supposed to be quiet, not announcing where they are with the exception of Mido Guy. I do not know how they raised Eris in this place, but I do know what you are doing, Eris Yamanaka is playing disgrace on your clan. As a Eris like you, my private tutor would be offended if they saw how you act in public like a lovesick fool that has no breeding. Most clan heirs wince on the not-so-subtle insult Mika thrown, while Sasuke was cackling in amusement. And you? She turned to Haruno after reducing Yamanaka into tears. I do not give a flying fuck if you are a mere civilian. Shinobi business is not full of rainbows and sunshines. Kunoichis had the shortest lifespan among the shinobi force. We, Kunoichis, do what our male counterparts cannot do, and that was seduction. Walking towards the blackboard, Iruka moved and allowed her lecture. Fangirls are useless in battlefield. They are most often not, our cannon fodders to the highest degree. Diet. We burn calories when performing jutsus. The Akamichis had it on their bloodline, making them pleasantly pump, add to the fact they use their fat as another fuel for their techniques. Only a useless mongrel without self-preservation would taunt a Akamichi who they knew could turn them into pancakes. Everyone eyed Choji in mixed awe and fear. Back to the topic, usually when we are caught by either missing ninjas or enemy ninjas, they would torture us for information. Tortures differs, but rape is common to girls and few attractive males. Mika shrugged her shoulders. Well, it's true. If you wanted to even reach your 20s, you should train and ditch that silly diet. Take one Jounin Kurenai Yuuhi and Takubetsu Jounin Mitarashi Anko. They never use those silly diets, but they one of the powerful Kunoichi here. Our prime example of baddest Kunoichis are Lady Tsunade Senju, the Slug Princess and the best battle medic Konoha produce, and the bloody red habanero, Uzumaki Kushina, which is rumored lover of Blondame. Michaela. Iruka shouted in disbelief. This girl is sprouting S-class secret. Uzumaki Kushina. The class repeated, then glanced on Naruto who did the hand signs of a henge. In his place stood a lovely woman in complete Jounin uniform. Her blood-red hair is tied in high ponytail as her violet eyes glitter in mischief. Hello, everyone. The name's Uzumaki Kushina, Databane. Cue an almost heart attack. And here's Tsunade Senju, another hand sign, Kushina was replaced by a blonde bombshell. Those women never needed any ridiculous diets whatsoever. They are powerful in their own right. So, please wake up. The path of being shinobi is a bloody one, we are nothing more than tools for the greater good. Mika continued before adjusting her eyeglasses. Gods, I loathe that phrase. So do we, both Naruto and Sasuke replied. 0. Hokage office. Mika Chan, I have half mind to reprimand you about the stunt you pulled. However, your Rathranique demonstration woke our future Kunoichis in their absurd notions. Hiruzen took a long drag of his pipe as he eyed the 7-year-old sitting between Naruto and Sasuke while Shikamaru perched on the armrest of the sofa. You should have thrown them to Anko Nisan, no. She was a very effective fangirl destroyer. Mika shrugged her shoulders as she used Sasuke's lap as her pillow and her feet on Naruto's. As it is, Iruka-sensei is being taught a fin shot which he is currently using on our annoying Jounins down the mission room. As it is, you do know Naruto-kun's parentage is an S-class secret. Hokage-sama, if I may, Shikamaru interjected. Naru is the splitting image of Yondaime-sama, well he took Kushina-sama's mannerism. Only blind people would not connect the dots. Fear and anger blinds people, Shika-chan. Even if you explained it, they still cannot differentiate a kunai and a scroll, even if you shove it to their faces. Mika stood up, went behind the file cabinet, then threw a folder to Sasuke who caught it. If you want me wearing the Uchiha crest again, file that first while I do the Haddock side. I just hope they won't start multiplying. Sasuke said in a deadpan voice as he started filing them. If you don't want to be the clan head which generates paperwork from hell, hound Itachi Nai since it was his position. And may I remind you that everyone in this room are future clan heads, well, 3 lordships in my case, and that means triple workload. Hiruzen choked his pipe hearing her words. Anyways, I need to send a letter to Inoichi Yamanaka-sama for his daughter's actions earlier. It is an embarrassment to have a heiress acting like a lovesick fool. You do that and please give a very detailed explanation why Yamanaka-sama should re-educate his daughter in proper etiquette. Sasuke told her as he signed each and every paper with flourish. Make that strongly worded along a request to overhaul the academy teachings. Dope, you do the draft since you already made it once. Fuck you, team. Stop ordering me around. Naruto swiped the eyeglasses case Mika gave to him, wore it before swiping a scroll and writing utensils from the Hokage's table. Shika, you do the syllabus along Mika-chan. Troublesome. We all knew it, so start working, you lazy pineapple. Hiruzen watched as the kids gotten into work. He could see the smooth teamwork they exhibited, even half of the words they are saying flew over his head. I told you not to. Add some survival test. Your survival tests have at least 10% of survival. We train shinobis, not coddle them, baka. And so Naruto and Mika argue. Seal checks on random and overseeing the graduating batch before allowing them to become a genin. This way, we can cut at least 40% of cannon fodder and they won't die on their first C-rank mission. Sasuke pointed out to Shikamaru as they read the list of graduating genins. Where did you get that? The Sandaime exclaimed. On your table, Sandaime-sama. Shikamaru replied as he read the report. Half of this are future cannon fodder, Haim. Only 3 would be chunin and 1 jounin. Then, I shall ask Iruka-sensei if we could conduct a survival test which could double up as a what's the word again. Talent showcase so their future jounin senseis would know what kind of team they are expecting. Mika immediately wrote a draft letter which Naruto signed immediately. Make it a semi-chunin exam so we could weed the idiots and throw them for a reprogram. We need shinobis, not cannon fodders. Writing condolence letters because their child is so useless that they are killed in action is annoying. Hiruzen cannot help but to agree on the assessment, even his Anbu guards. By your words, are you referring into someone? Sasuke cannot help but to smirk. I do imply no such thing, Ani-chan. I just said some graduates produced by the academy this past 10 years are beyond useless. Look at Itachi Nyasen. He graduated early and turned insane because of pressure. I have half mind to beat the shit out of the moron, how agreed to have Idenai and Anbu at 10. She rolled her eyes as the Sandaime paled. Really, Anbu at 10. No wonder that he fell into insanity and slaughtered the whole clan who was planning a coup. They could just have moved the compound in the middle of the village, but they picked up the farthest one. Bloody morons. Boy, you are still in Uchiha, you know. Half Uchiha, Naichin. And 1/4 Haddock. See the silver highlights on my hair? Mika pointed out the large silver lock on her left temple. And since the adult Uchiha is out of the village painting his nails black according to Jaja-chan, the only family member that could take me in custody is one Haddock Kakashi. Your future father-in-law, Nanadame-sama. Shikamaru added as Naruto paled. Don't remind me, please. Having the pervert as our jounin sensei is enough since he will teach team the way of Sharingan, but having him as an in-law is too much. The blonde held his head in his hands. Are you sure you will be team up with Sasuke-kun, Naruto-kun? Hiruzen asked curiously. Of course. So, Mika-chan, take the top Kunoichi rank so we won't have Sakura as our partner. Naruto demanded. Okay, darling, Mika humored him. I'm also begging you, Mika. Sasuke added. He does not care for his pride anymore as long as his ears would be spared from too much shrieking. Ugh, fine. Reset. A year later. Hello, my name is Uchiha Hadokibika's Mika. I'm 8 years old and yes, I am Sasuke Naichin's cousin, but he wanted me as his little sister. My favorite color is green, silver, black and a bit of orange. My goal is to be a frontline medic with flea on side order in the bingo book and be the future Mrs. Uzumaki Naruto. Shikamaru cut her introduction, much to the displeasure of a certain girl. Shut up Shika or you will be running again the compound in Genjutsu. Mika glared at the Nara heir. Ma, we know it's true. Shikamaru immediately dived under his desk in order to avoid a vial of unidentified liquid which hit the kid next to him. And turned the poor Ino's hair into puke green. Anyways, pleased to meet you. The said girl smiled innocently, wearing a sleeveless dark blue turtleneck, partnered by a black and silver jacket that had the Uchiha fan on the left shoulder, the had a crest on the right while on the back had the sign of the Deathly Hallows. Her bottom was clad with white pleated skirt that reached her thighs, short shorts underneath, with a utility pouch clasped on her waist. Black thigh-high socks and white combat high-heeled boots finished her getup. Please take a seat beside Sasuke-kun, Mika-chan. Iruka rolled his eyes fondly on the girl who practically flew beside Naruto's side. Actually, she was gliding. Let the chaos begin. This past year has been quiet, to be honest. Mika was wondering when she would finally see her papa, since the said bastard is actively avoiding her. As she remembered her future memories, she cannot help but to dislike this version of her papa. This one is not the Kakashi who took care of her when she was heavily injured and mourning from the death of her beloved brother Utakata, Seiken's former Jinchuriki. Moo. This is getting ridiculous. It's been a year, Naru-kun. Nai-chan. I'm family too. The Rakubi Jinchuriki bit her lip as tears of frustration filled her eyes, ignoring the ramen in front of her along her favorite cinnamon buns. Am I such a disgrace that he does not even want to speak or even try to see me? Naruto let out a sign as he and Sasuke wrapped her into a hug. Good thing they are in a both laced with privacy seals. Aka-sensei in this time would rather avoid you than face you. He just turned like the one you knew when I defected. Sasuke spoke softly. Naruto longed Tsunade-sama beat the shit out of him before he woke up. Are you suggesting that I should beat the shit out of him? Not a bad idea. If we know where he is. Naruto reminded them. My semblance allows me to find whoever I want, Naru. I thought I would not use it on Papa unless emergency. Mika leaned her head on her husband's chest. Buy me some time. Be back before our first class tomorrow. Sasuke. Okay. Smell you later. By then, Mika fell inside the black and green wormhole that appeared under her feet. A second later, a hand came back to snatch her cinnamon bun and treacle tarts. Land of water. Hada Kakashi Aka Anbu Wolf leaned on a large tree. He managed to finish his mission, but he was badly injured. Add the strain of using Sharingan too much is taking toll on his body. As meeting me is so bad that you would rather have back-to-back-to-back missions instead of facing me. Dual-colored eyes hidden by his mark snapped open. Papa. I'm not your father. Kakashi gritted his teeth as he saw Mika standing a few feet in front of him, wearing a black and green feathered cloak and a military hat with Konoha leaf symbol attached on its front. Uchiha. It's more of Hadaka Uchiha Hibika's papa. Also, this is annoying so I will be giving your memories back. Her once emerald green eyes activated the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, making the copy nin froze on his tracks. Those lotus-designed eyes stared on his own. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Memory restoration. Kakashi screamed as information flooded on his mind, forcing him to activate his white chakra. Sure, Mika could have done it painlessly, but she wanted him to suffer for ignoring her along Sasuke. Family protects each other, whatever time they came from, you know. Add to the fact the punishment had a part 2. But we should leave that to Daddy Iruka. Young mistress, we had company, false, pronounce as Pal C, told her as the thick silver and green chain book flew over her shoulders. Just as the sentient book finished speaking, a group of 8 Iwa shinobi surrounded her along the now unconscious Kakashi. Luke KY I'm getting bored these days. Mika smiled evilly as a shadow clone of hers took Kakashi away from the soon-to-be battlefield. Adjusting her hat, she turned back in her sexy older body. Her Sharingan still activated, allowing them to learn that she was an Uchiha. An Uchiha in the land of stone. Tsukikage-sama would be pleased. One of the ninjas commented. The old man would be pleased indeed. She agreed as bubbles surrounded her. If you caught me. Explosion. Multiple explosions shook the entire forest as the original Mika watched above the clouds, riding her firebolt. HMP, I would never understand Naru-kun and Nai-chan for hating explosions. Art is a bang, you know. Madara stood up straight. Someone appreciated my art, Konoha. 3 groans and thuds was heard in 2 different places. That girl and her love for explosions. In Iowa, they received multiple bodies of their dead ninja and a note. Next time, please do not allow your men to monologue. It's so damn annoying and great time to blow them up. Mistress of Death. Back to Konoha. Bachela-chan, what is this? My report. I decided to fetch Anbu Wolf who was crossing in the borders of Land of Vegetables, being chased by a group of Iowa shinobis. I managed to dispose them and return the bodies on their village with a note. Haddock-san is injured but not critical. Mika reported. Also, we need to watch Atagakur no Sato, a newly built hidden village in the land of rice. My minions heard whispers that the Sanin Orochimaru is the new cage there. Hiruzen took a long drag of his pipe. Eyeing the 8-year-old girl who was looking on him with blank face, he sighed. I won't ask how you knew, but what will you do? Do what? About Papa or Orochimaru-sama? Both. Mika's eyes narrowed. Papa will be safe, I assure you that. About your old student however she removed her military hat. My honest opinion, he is a disgrace. People who would start ripping their souls in order to cheat death should suffer. Life and death are together. It's an endless cycle, Hokage-sama. However, if balance is disrupted, it makes more work and headaches I would rather avoid at all cost. You spoke as if you had an experience in this. Please stop fishing for information. No, we won't tell you anything unless it is important. We are already late to begin with. Mika turned her back at the third Hokage. The next event is 4 years from now. I bid you good evening and start increasing the training of our forces. We would need them especially when a surprise invasion happen. You never answered my question, Michaela. The reincarnated witch paused from opening the door. Orochimaru-sama did great things. Terrible, yes but great. I never had a chance to speak with him, but when Naruto and Ani-chan had the chance he is too deep to be saved. Mika chuckled softly also, he does not want to be saved in the first place, even if he save her. By that, she left. Leaving a troubled Hokage. Last thing Kakashi knew, he was killed by Obito using the blade of Tsuka that pierced his and Iruka's heart. On his final moments, he managed to push his grandson away from having his head cut off from his shoulders. I hope Bolt is okay. Opening his eyes, he blinked when he noticed the familiar ceiling of the Haddock Estates. Sella. Good morning, master. I hope you had a pleasant evening. Young mistress brought you home 2 days ago, injured from the land of vegetables. The sentient wards replied. Welcome back, master. Today is September, a month before the 9th Kyuubi festival. Young mistress is in school along young master Naruto and young master Sasuke. And no, master Iruka isn't married to you, yet. What? Sella, what are you saying? Where's Bolt and the kids? I was saying that Mika-sama used her Sharingan to make you remember the future. You have been knocked out for 2 days because of the strain. Kakashi let out an annoyed groan before flopping back to the bed. Courting Iruka had been a bitch and a half complicated by Naruto's overprotective tendencies to the chunin. Heck, it took 2 years before the said dolphin of his kissed him on the lips. He does not want to go those trials all over again, even if he is head over heels in love with him. I hope you are not thinking pervert things about Ruru-chan, Dadabane. Of course not, Kakashi turned on his left where Mika is sitting, or rather her clone. Your sister left you? Oni-sama asked me to watch you, Papa. The clone replied. How are you feeling? I brought breakfast. I feel like someone stabbed me. The copy nin sat up from the bed, ignoring the fact his mask is not on his person. Opening his arms, she immediately crawled on his lap for a cuddle session. Weak but okay. Good to know, Papa. Oni-sama was upset that you are avoiding her, you know. The Mika clone kissed his smooth cheek as Kakashi played with the thick silver-colored hair on her bangs. I love you. The Jounin chuckled and kissed her forehead. Love you too, little daughter. The clone happily dispelled. Academy. Mika froze a bit on the middle of her sparring session with Sasuke. Since her body is in autopilot along her fully activated hyper-intuition, or paranoia, as the boys would call, she managed to avoid the great fireball of her brother before doing a Suiten. Great waterfall followed by Hyuden. Thornbind hostage. Mika-chan. Are you trying to kill me? Sasuke shouted as he shivered in cold. I said I was sorry for eating your treacle tart. It's not about that, Ani-chan. Mika freed her brother who accepted the warm jacket Naruto thrown at him. Papa is awake and back to himself, I guess. Be careful, Mika-chan. Being distracted might cause your death. Mizuki-sensei told her. My apologies, I won't do it again. She tilted her head politely before hugging Sasuke. The raven-haired boy stopped shivering as he felt his sister's magic wrapped him like a thick warm blanket. So warm, Sasuke muttered as he glanced on her eyes. Instead of emerald green, they are now amber orange. Don't fall asleep now, Team Naruto commented fondly. COMFY. Mika rolled her eyes as Sasuke fell asleep and snuggled on her. Akatsuki stay up last night so we could allow him to sleep. I just hope he won't caught a fever. Looking at her husband, let's go back home. Indeed. Naruto agreed. 0. Haddock Estates. Papa. A silver and black blur tackled Kakashi who was currently sitting in the gardens, having tea with a lovely white-haired maid holding a thick tome about runes. I'm home. Welcome home, Mika-chan. Kakashi wrapped his arms around the 8-year-old who was on his lap, burying her face on his chest. I missed you. I missed you too, Papa. Mika admitted as she wrapped her arms around his neck. Hot tears gathered round her eyes as she tried to stop a sob wanting to escape her throat. It hurts. It hurt so much when you pushed me away, Papa. Sure, I have Naruto and Nai-chan in my back along Seiken but her words were cut off by a sniff. I'm sorry Michaela. The silver-haired Jounin kissed her temple. For being an asshole in the time you needed me the most. But being an asshole is your original self. Fall said so. Then don't listen to him. Mika giggled as she wiped her tears. Welcome back, Papa. Naruto greeted his father-in-law/foster father. Naruto, Sue. Kakashi greeted the two as they sat beside him. His eyes studied the two lazily. His cute little blonde is now practically the carbon copy of his father Minato-sensei. Naruto is way calmer when wearing those special eyeglasses since they filter his chakra and with the calmancy shields that Kurama maintains, he doesn't act like a moron in Sugar High. Let's not forget the fact that somehow, someone added additional seals on the existing ones turning him into that in the first place. On his lap is a mini Kurama napping. Sasuke on the other hand, is much calmer like his older self. Really, having Mika here is a blessing since she is acting as the anchor for him. Yo, Kakashi greeted them, ignoring the wide eyes staring on his person. What? You do not have your mask. Naruto uttered as Sasuke just stood there in shock. So? You never took off your mask, sensei. Sasuke pointed out. Mika blinked her eyes as Seiken crawled in her neck. Looking at her father, she rolled her eyes. What? According to Sella, he haven't wore his mask ever since he woke up. And he doesn't hide his face from me and daddy. That made the boys pout, not that Sasuke would admit doing. Unfair. Don't care, Kakashi replied making Sella and Mika giggled. Sensei. I shall make some snack, master. Sella gave them a fond smile as she stood up, making the kids notice her for the first time. I want treacle tart, Sella. Strawberry cake, please. Salad, please. The lovely chakra homunculi laughed at their expense. Humming right up. Porting the dolphin. When one Yamino Iruka woke up that morning, he had no idea what the day had stored for him. He was humming as he prepared breakfast for him, Naruto and his pet Biju, Kurama, who would come down still asleep. Those two would be properly awake once they drowned down their third cup of illegal to be made and highly caffeinated espresso coffee. How did Naruto manage to brew himself a special breed of coffee beans, he doesn't want to know. Actually, it was the Chibi Black Yondaime and his team, Sarada and Itachi Uchiha, who are the ones who discovered the said hybrid on one of their C-rank missions, which turned S-rank in the land of vegetables. Naruto and Sasuke fell in love with that breed, so their Jounin sensei, Sarutobi Konohamaru, had gotten off a bit lightly. Anyway, once they are ready, he opened the door of his apartment only to be shocked. In front of him is a lovely set of flowers arranged to look like a dolphin jumping out of the water. Dad, you okay? Naruto asked before noticing the flowers. His jaw fell down the floor. Gosh. He is pulling the big guns already. Oh, it's already starting. Kurama commented as he perched on the blonde's shoulder. Seeing the lovely masterpiece, he whistled. Oh, he did remember. What did your wife have done now, kid? She just used her Sharingan. Naruto replied as he made several shadow clones who immediately but carefully took the flower arrangement inside. Dad. Are you well? I really didn't expect that. Iruka answered, his mind reeling the fact that the silver-haired Jounin had sent him a lowly chunin such flowers. It didn't also help that according to the Team 7, there's no way those three won't be in the same team, he married the said shinobi. Oh, God, what did my future self do that he caught the attention of Haddock-san? When you told him welcome home after his A-rank mission gone wrong. 2 years ago actually. Mika replied who draped herself on Naruto. Morning, hubby, daddy Iruka, Kuu-chan. Morning, wifey. The blonde pressed a kiss on her cheek. Who made the arrangement? Appa and I last night. Sella helped too in making sure they won't fall. Mika giggled at the stunned look Iruka was sporting. Daddy, feel free to troll Papa. We would love to see him chazzing you all over again since it was so hilarious. Sasuke was put out since he was out of the village by that time. Naruto chuckled. There is also a card that you should read too. A Naruto clone gave the said card to the academy teacher. The card is also dolphin-shaped making him smile a bit. Opening it. Good morning. I hope this gift will bring smile to your handsome face. You may not remember like I do, but I want a chance to court you once again. Not because you are my future husband, but because I fell in love with you when you gave light to my dark world. As I have my memories of the future that never was, I have decided to court you properly. May I ask you for dinner this weekend? I will drop by for your answer. Haddock Namika's Kakashi. Hi. So sweet. Mika gushed, remembering her own courting time when Naruto is still a clueless dope. It was so hilarious and sweet at the same time. Remember, you can say no if you don't want to, Daddy Iruka. Iruka did not reply because he fainted. Ah. Dad. Naruto exclaimed as they caught the unconscious Chunin. It's only Monday and those gifts are going to be outrageous until he either reject his courting or accept it. But remember when Daddy agreed. Papa started decorating the estates and purchasing wedding paraphernalia. Mika burst out laughing along the Bijus. I cannot help but to laugh when Ruri-chan said yes to his wedding proposal, only to learn everything was ready, except for the cake and the colors of the reception. This time, even Naruto joined them laughing. Like Naruto said, the courting gifts became outrageous as the date passed. Kakashi made no qualms on showing Iruka that he was serious on courting the chunin. Everybody watched the ongoing drama and sigh in sheer amount of sweetness in the air, which is actually borderline sickening. Oh my, Iruka. Who would thought our resident copy nin is head over heels in love of you? Shiranui Genma commented as he leaned on the mission desk. I still can't believe it, actually. Iruka replied. I kept asking myself, why me? If you are thinking like that, why don't you ask Papa himself this coming weekend? But rest assured that he is madly in love of you. Mika said as she placed a cup of strong coffee in front of the chunin. It's not well known, but Papa loves chocolate wrapped in innocent packages. Fujoshi. They told accused her. Ma, I do not deny such claim, after all, yaoi is a woman's fantasy. The steamer, the better Mika let out a perverted giggle as she wiggled her hips. You know what, time to make a yaoi site in order to beat Icha. Of course not, you're too young. Iruka shouted as his eyes landed on Kakashi, who arrived with a oh my god, another bouquet. Kakashi. Yes, Iruka-sensei. The copy nin asked, who was actually out of his jounin uniform for the first time. What the hell are you teaching to Mika-chan? Please make sure to watch what she is reading. Iruka scolded Kakashi by poking his chest. My, Mika-chan is self-sufficient, you know. Kakashi adjusted the scarf hiding half of his face as mismatched gray and red eyes stared at Iruka's chocolate ones. Also, those books she is reading. I have no idea where she had gotten them. Anyway, for you. The said dolphin blinked as a bouquet of lily and carnation flowers is shoved on his face. Thank you. Iruka accepted the flowers and blushed when he finally noticed what the older jounin is wearing. Wah, Papa. That looks good on you, Mika exclaimed as she jumped on her father's back. Really? Kakashi glanced on his clothes consisting of a white long-sleeved shirt, black slacks with combat boots, partnered with silver-black trench coat that reached his knees. It was finished with a gray scarf hiding his nose and neck. Yumu. Are you taking Ruri-chan for a date? Actually, I was going to take you out for a date. Silence filled the entire room as Mika slid off from his back. False transformed into a green floating pillow with carrot prints catching its mistress. Taking me for a date? The reincarnated witch tilted her head cutely. Me? Why not Ruri-chan? Because my date with Iruka-sensei is already scheduled this weekend. Also, I owe you one for making me see reason. Kakashi gently ruffled her hair, making the young girl blushed in happiness. And I knew well that Naruto haven't asked you for a date, so I would take the first date. Silly Papa. Mika uttered as she hid her face using her beret. But you do love me. Unfortunately. Kakashi then focused his attention to Iruka, who was watching the exchange fascinatedly. So, Iruka-sensei, I shall borrow my daughter for 3 days. I already given the message to the principal, so, see you this weekend. The copy nin took Mika in his arms before pressing a kiss on the chunin's cheek. No need to be jealous, Iruka. I'm not jealous. Iruka shouted just in time. Kakashi used body flicker to escape the irritate chunin. Gahh. Tsunade no Sato. Really? We could have taken Narukan and Ani-chan too. They did Miss Gaara, you know. Mika commented as they strolled on the streets of Suna, ignoring the gawking of the Suna residents, seeing the copy nin in civilian clothes walking along a young girl. I told you already, I want you for myself for a few days. Kakashi replied. Mika-chan thinks Papa sounds like a pedophile. She told him, much to the amusement of the Suna shinobi who were following them. Of course not. The silver-haired jounin processed the words he spoke earlier before wincing. Okay, it did sounds like a pedophile. Sorry. Okay. Just don't say that to Ruri-chan after the first day, K. Mika teased. She skillfully dodged a soft smack on the head. Her eyes landed on a flower shop. Papa, that cactus looks cute. Kakashi smiled underneath his scarf. Konoha. Haka-sensei did what? Kakashi took Mika-chan to Suna for a 3-day vacation. Hiruzen repeated to his surrogate grandson as Naruto, along Sasuke and Shikamaru stormed inside his office, wanting to know where Mika is. And calling Kakashi-sensei is too formal since he was not your jounin-sensei. He will be later. Anyway, why the hell that scarecrow didn't told us? I want to go to Suna too. Naruto whined as he dived on the sofa. It's so unfair, Dadabeo. HN, Sasuke agreed. Troublesome. Mika-chan even forget to message us. Shikamaru sighed as he pulled out a slick black phone and started dialing Mika's number. Charmed cell phones are the best. Michaela. Hi, Shika-kun. I'm in Suna with Papa. I can bring you here along the others, Mika replied in the other line, ignoring the whining of Kakashi about father and daughter bonding moments. Just tell your guardians. I don't want to see you being killed by Yoshinobu-chan, you know. 20 minutes. Shikamaru said before ending the line. We had 20 to pack up. Before Hiruzen could stop them, the trio vanished in a yellow flash. Since when Naruto-kun knew Hiration? Kakashi knew Mika would search for Gaara, so after their lunch date, he allowed the young girl to wander while he visited some weapons shop. Mika, grateful for her father's silent support, happily skipped, more likely flew towards the park where Gaara is supposed to be playing with himself. Like she guessed, the Ichibi Jinchuriki is in the park, building some sand castles. Hi. The Ravenet leaned on the sandbox, startling the redhead. Emerald green eyes met seafoam green. My name is Hedek Mika. Would you like to be my friend, Mr. 1? Gaara blinked in confusion mixed with wariness. Mother purred on his mind, telling him to spill the girl's blood. The girl who is asking him to be her friend. Mother wants your blood, he spoke. Instead of freaking out, the girl scratched her cheek in apology. Even if I wanted to, my blood had potent poison running through my veins. Ask your partner about basilisk snakes. They are the most poisonous snakes in the world. Just to back up her claim, she cut a bit of her wrist. They watched as a drop of her blood melted Gaara's plastic shovel. See? That's the reason why I cannot donate blood. I don't know why, but Naruto-kun enjoys drinking my blood once in a while, a bit creepy but hot, you know. Mika stared on his eyes. Also, memory restoration. Gaara blinked before his eyebrows furrowed. I do not need to know about your sex life, Michaela. The Redhead commented. Walking on you while Naruto is handcuffed on the Hokage chair is one time too many. Mika let out a perverted giggle. So, me walking on you with Niji going at it like bunnies on your office is okay. He replied by chasing her with his sand bullets. Asuna shinobis guarding Gaara were both horrified and confused as Mika just laughed out loud, not minding being chased by a homicidal Jinchuriki. The young girl even blocked the sand by producing so many bubbles and proceeded to wrestle with Gaara. Oh, looks like my daughter found a playmate, Kakashi commented as he stood beside Baki, one of the higher jounin shinobi of Suna. Haddock-san, Gaara might hurt your daughter. Baki told him. Ma, Mika-chan can take care of herself. Also, mismatched eyes gave him a lazy look. I do believe Gaara-kun is fond of her. Michaela, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to make sure your husband won't find your body. You have been saying that ever since you met me, but I'm still alive, Dadabane. Baki along the rest of the Suna Anbu squad gave Kakashi a deadpan look. The shouting match is followed by bubbles and sandballs being thrown on each other. Shut up and die already. Ooh, I was joking when I gave you that voodoo doll, you damn panda. What voodoo doll? Kakashi asked Naruto who appeared beside him. Ah, that. It was a prank. We were drunk and Mika sewed a voodoo doll that looks like Gaara wearing a pink tutu and panda ears. I don't know how, but the picture of that doll spread from Konoha to Kumo to Iwa to Taki before reaching Suna. From then on, Gaara always threatens to kill Mika, but you know her, she won't stay dead. Ah, Mika-chan's most useless blood limit. Kakashi's attention went back towards Mika and Gaara as the latter tries to strangle his daughter. Gaara-kun, I still need my DAUGHTER. Make another one with Iruka-sensei. Gaara shouted before burying Mika with his sand coffin which the latter destroyed. That would be 12 years from now, Bakara Mika punched the redhead before tying him up with her ribbon. I won't be waiting that long. Naruto skipped towards his wife and best friend fellow brother. Hi Gaara. You cannot kill Mika because Bolt and Rika aren't born yet. And she won't stay dead. Sasuke added, rolling his eyes in exasperation. What a supportive older brother you are, Nai-chan. Mika gave the boys a deadpan look. Where's Shika? As one, they pointed out Shikamaru having a chat with Temari. Gaara, he do works fast. Indeed, Kakashi agreed. Chapter 3 Filler Chapter. Sonagakur no Sato. Who wants ice cream? Kakashi asked. Me. The kids jumped up and down, even Gaara is drooling. The silver-haired man gave them an eye smile before unsealing his special scroll. A poof later, 8 tall glasses of ice cream, monster size, appeared on the table. The Chibisaur vibrating in effort to not jump and grab each cup. Strawberry for Mika-chan and Temari-chan, chocolate for Sasuke-kun and Shikamaru, cookies and cream for Gaara-kun and blueberries for Kankuro and Naruto-kun, while Black Forest is mine. Kakashi gave the kids their ice cream, making the Chibi's eyes sparkle. And the fuck is that a bunny on Mika-chan's background? Dig in. Papa, you're the best. Mika exclaimed as she took a bite of her ice cream sundae. Delicious. Nothing beats the desert sun's heat beside ice cream. Likewise. Gaara agreed as he took a bite of his ice cream. Happy hummings were heard inside the Hokage mansion as the kids happily ate their dessert. The Yondaime Kazuki Sabaku no Rasa is torn, being horrified or amused upon the display. Anyway, does Temari-chan and Kankuro remembers? Naruto asked out of the blue. I'm actually asking for an oblivate, but knowing you two, you won't allow us to forget. Tamari replied. It's more bits and pieces but enough for me. Same with me. But please, just erase that time in Kazakige Tower. Please. Kankuro begged. Of course not. The Sharingan users replied immediately, making the puppet user cry on the floor. You three are so mean. You know, Daddy is the only one needed along Niji, then we're back to the normal team. Mika commented as she inhaled her ice cream. Wanna spread some chaos. When and where? Do we have proper gears? Do I need to sign anything? Who are the ones we will troll? Naruto asked, his ever-present magical calligraphy pen is out. Alternate Kanabi Bridge. Yes, we do, and it's more than enough. Nothing, I already did in Hari. We are going to troll several Konoha shinobi and several Iwa nins, but more Leaf shinobi. We can invite some Tsunin in if we would like. The Ravenet answered. Who's with me? Me? Universe 78009. Near Kanabi Bridge. Mika and company arrived in an alternate world. They are all in their adult forms, 22, and wearing their old gears. So, who's ready for some chaos? Mika asked, adjusting her military cap with Konoha insignia. We are going in twos, I think. I believe I would accompany Sasuke towards my younger self's location. Mika and Naruto go to the cave. Shikamaru along Sand siblings, you will be our eyes and rescue team. Kakashi told them. Alright. Shikamaru along the Sand siblings replied. What shall we do when we saw Two-chan? Naruto asked. Ration the hell out and confuse them. The chaos will start once Obito is well enough and we could prevent Rin-chan's death. I had something for the three tails and we are seal masters, you know. Mika answered as Naruto gave his father-in-law an eye roll which earned him a head slap. Ow. Come on. They would not confuse me with Two-chan. All-eyed the Hokage robe he's wearing. Minus the fact you are wearing your cloak that reads Nanadame. With the same design as the Yondaime, even he is not the Yondaime yet. I don't think so. Use the orange and black one, darling. Mika told her husband. Okay. Once they wore their hit I-8s and checked the equipment, they all scattered. Cave. Naru, destroy the rock. Mika ordered, which her beloved husband did. Obito Uchiha is still conscious even if half of his body is buried under the rock and with an empty eye socket. Mika fed the 13-year-old chunin with draft of living death before starting on regrowing the destroyed body parts. Good thing reverse system is available for me to use, Tebane. If not, this is going to be painful. Mika commented as Naruto cut his wrist and mixed his blood and chakra on the vial of pepper-up potion. Indeed. How long this will take? More than 5 minutes. I just need to regrow his eyes so Chibi Kakashi won't need to return his Jounin gift. Main Kanabi Bridge. Sensei. Stop cackling like a madman or else I'll tell Ruru-san that you ate the remaining banana pudding. Sasuke shouted as he watched Kakashi having an ongoing contest with one Namikaze Minato while Chibi Kakashi gaped in sheer disbelief on the older Uchiha. Sasuke. It's been a while since I have this kind of fun. Kakashi gave his adopted son an eye smile as he slit a random Iwa nin's neck. I don't care and I won't be cleaning blood on your clothes. Again. Sasuke took both Chibi Kakashi and Nahara Rin and unleashed Susanoo on the battlefield. His eternal Mangekyo Sharingan swirled in life. And stop playing with the Dobe's father. Whichever way we will land in T&I later. Ichiha raised an eyebrow. Oh, you mean you are going to land in T&I, Sasuke said. And once Ruru-san heard about this he trailed off. We are so going to be in the doghouse for MONTH, Kakashi-sensei. Shikamaru's location. Mika is coming along the injured. Gaara, kill the idiots. Shikamaru ordered as Tamari and Kankuro collected the injured Konoha shinobis. Tamari, how many injured? 250 and counting, Shikamaru. We also counted dead, but none of them are Konohas, Tamari replied. The Nanadame head strategist snapped his fingers. The floating green pillow next to him transformed into bunch of knives and stabbed the Iwa nin trying to assassinate him. Troublesome. Michaela. Good work on activating the perfect cube. I'll handle it from here, Nara-sama. Mika glanced on her partner. Could you please stand by Nanadame-sama's side along the crow? Of course, Haim-sama. Shikamaru bowed his head politely before vanishing. The Ravenet glanced then nodded to the Sand siblings. My name is Michaela Hadakachiha, I am a healer, and please listen to me. The idiots who would try to escape the healing would be bound by chains, and no, I'm not into BDSM, even if we had the same bust size of Lady Senju. Even with paranoia, Snickers could be heard in the area. You look like an Uzumaki. One of the ninja commented, a Shiranui by the looks of it. Oh come on, take a look, will ya? Mika decided to humor her patients as she unleashed an army of Kage Bushin. I knew of Kushina Uzumaki. We are not the same. Look closely in here, she pointed her black hair with white highlights on the bangs. In here, yup, her violet eyes are more almond shape. And most of all, here, she made her boobs bounce a bit. See? We're different. Laughter spread in the entire healing area even if they are surrounded with death and destruction. Konoha. Why do I feel I wanted to kill someone brutally that would make even the nine-tailed fox proud and horrified at the same time? Jounin Kushina Uzumaki asked out of the blue while eating some ramen with Mikoto Uchiha. You're just thinking too much, Kushina. Mikoto replied. Maybe, the redhead agreed. Mika rolled her eyes as two blondes appeared in front of her, bathing in blood and chunk. We are going to burn those clothes. Report. Iwanins are neutralized, Haim-sama. Kanabi Bridge destruction is made possible of Rasengan of Namikaze Minato and Mirasen Shuriken. Various squad were all uninjured as Cloud and Storm managed to kill several Kumo assassins. How about you, Haim? Naruto reported. Team Minato's Uchiha Obito is now stable. However, regrowing half of his body along his eyes complete with Sharingan is a pain in the ass procedure. I may not be Tsunade Haim, I did my best. All 300 backup shinobi of Konoha are well and healthy. If Iwa is missing its remaining 5% squads, you could blame that on me. They're so annoying databang. Mika shrugged her shoulders, ignoring the gaping Team Minato. Are you sure you are uninjured, Sky? You remember I would not hesitate to chain you in bed. You know, darling, I really don't mind the last part. Naruto wiggled his eyebrows as a flirty smile adorned his lips. Ignoring the chokes of disbelief and groan of annoyance of their audience. Waltzing towards his wife, he whispered in her ear. Especially you and one of your sexy nurse UNIFORM. The Ravenet giggled. Oh my, how naughty, my lord. Why don't you behave so I might give you a little reward later on, Half-lidded emerald green eyes full of lust stared on his reddish blue ones. Will you? The slightly shorter blonde growled under his breath before pulling his wife for a soul-shattering kiss. Fuck, they're at it again. Shikamaru groaned before firing a suiton on the couple who were about to start ripping clothes. Ignoring indignant yells from the said couple stopped making out in the middle of the battlefield. I'm horny, shut up. Naruto Mika shouted. I don't care. The Nar replied. Focus on the mission first, Sky-sama, Haim-sama, then I don't care if you used Tsukiyomi for your more kinky methods. The Uzumaki Namikaze Potter Black couple stopped grumbling. The return and Konoha were met with shock and awe since Mika decided to use a portkey for fast delivery. Once every shinobi is sent on the hospital, Naruto gleefully gave the report of various squad on his alternate father's hands. Once the spectacle-wearing blonde gave the said written report, it poof out of existence, revealing it's a shadow clone all along. We do not have a various squad, Minato-kun. If we had, I would never send your team in the first place. The Sandaime Hokage told the Team Minato after their oral report. Who is the leader of this squad? According to the Nara, it was one Haddock Namikaze Kakashi. His team is made of one Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Mika Haddock Uchiha Namikaze, Sasuke Black Uchiha and Nara Shikamaru. The other three are called Sand siblings, whose names are Subaku no Gaara, Temari and Kankuro. By observation, all of them are S-class shinobis, and I had a guess that Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is a Jinchuriki. What Biju is still unknown. Minato replied. Where are they? Ichikaru's. Ichikaru ramen stand. Boy, Tuchi Jiji. 5 bowls of miso ramen kept him coming. 2 cheerful voices made the ramen owner smile as a pair of blonde and raven couple appeared and sat down the stool. You know, it's so unfair that the two of you could inhale so much ramen not get fat. Temari said as she sat beside her brothers. Why don't you try converting those carbs into your chakra system like the Akamichis? That's what I do, add to the fact that most of my attacks are wide scales. Mika replied after swallowing her ramen. Temari gave her a deadpan look. Do I look like a chakra tank on you? I swear you focused all your fat on your boobs. Boy, don't insult my boobs, Temari. My son feed on this, you know. The Ravenet gave an air of superiority, making her squad mates laugh at her. I swear the kid is about to faint when you hugged him. Sasuke dove on the counter when Mika threw a kunai on his head. What? It's true. Bolt has been complaining about suffocation and how it's bad to be placed on his death certificate if ever. My son will only die in old age, team. Blame his mother on that. Naruto rolled his eyes, then froze. Hey, did any one of us brought some Ryo? Collective blinking was his answer before turning to the owner. Gucci Jiji, you do accept hard gold, don't you? Minato was in the end of his patience. It's been a week and he still cannot find even the hair of the various squad. It's already bad enough they are skipping around, there are even rumors that he is cheating on Kushina. How prosperous. You know, I'm not Minato. See those whisker marks that my wife loves along the eyeglasses? This is getting annoying, Dadabeo. Speaking of the devil, the older blonde finally caught Naruto. Fish cake. He shouted, making the said ramen named kid glare at him. Fuck you, 2chan. My name means maelstrom, not fish cake even if I worship the said food of the gods, and the national food of Uzushiogakure. The Jinchuriki huffed and folded his arms on his chest. I know I inherited your coloring, but come on. We're not that similar. Minato raised an eyebrow. Because of you, my friends are accusing me on cheating Kushina. Ah-chan had adamantine chains. You had a death wish if you try on cheating her, not that you would do since you are head over heels in love with my mother. Naruto rolled his eyes. Did you already propose before picking out your dream house? Seeing the older blonde flush in embarrassment, he gave him a deadpan look. Figures. Kakashi-sensei and Iro-senin speaks the truth. My father is an oblivious idiot which I inherited until Mika-chan beat self-preservation in my head. Let me tell you, it took a month before it was ready. Followed by 3 broken ribs and concussion that even the old fox had been difficult to heal and too many torture scenes Anko Nichan will love. Mika appeared next to her husband, followed by the rest of various squad. Hi, father-in-law. How do you do? Father-in-law? Minato exclaimed. It seems Dobe's father is also a dope. Sasuke rolled his eyes as he scratched his hair. Does all geniuses are like this? Hey, Bolt and Rika came out normal, Tebane. Mika exclaimed. An older generation, Mika-chan. And even in ninja standards, your spawn is on another category altogether. Why did I assign Bolt in the genin team of Sarada and Itachi is beyond me. Because we made you drunk so hard that you found yourself naked in the forest of death. I did warn you not to drunk up straight as Guardian Mead, team. Naruto answered. That was you? The Uchiha glared at his best friend. Yes, me. Your wife even had a video stash somewhere and everyone had a copy. The eyeglasses wearing blonde cackled as Sasuke chased him, Chidori in hand. Come back here, dope. I'll finish what I should have in the Valley of the End. Ani-chan. Bring back my husband half alive. Mika shouted as she heard the usual Chidori and Rasengan duo. They will cool down in 3 hours. So, what up, father-in-law? The Hokage wants to speak with you. Minato replied. Mika blinked. But you are already speaking to us, Yondaime-sama. Please stop joking, Uchiha-san. I became Uzumaki Namikaze when I married your son, Papa Mina. You can call me Mika or Michaela like anyone else, you know. The Raven smiled at him. Let's take this on the Hokage Tower, okay? Sorry for giving you too much stress, Papa. We just want to lighten the mood. Lighten, my foot. I bet my entire fortune that it never crossed your mind that you are making his hair turn gray. Gaara commented. Shut up, raccoon. Make me, slug. But I just saw a silhouette of a slug and a raccoon behind them. Minato asked in a deadpan voice at the only sane-looking shinobi in the group. At Temari since Kankuro were pulling a sleeping Shikamaru via is that a floating pillow. Shikaku would give his firstborn to have that. Minions, time to Gyo Kakashi commented, hiding his platinum icha. The said minions paused and straightened since they knew the silver-haired Rakudame is being serious. Hi. Hokage Tower. Pia, no you called us according to Papa Mina. Mika skipped towards the table and sat on its edge. Indeed, milady. May we know who are you? Also, we thank you for helping Team Minato and my shinobis. Hiruzen spoke. Mika giggled. No problem, no. We are all bored to death and wanting unleash from frustrations. DATTEBANE. I feel better now when I unleashed several high-powered jutsus. My body makes too much these days. Are you sure you're not pregnant? You're like that when you are carrying Bolt. Shikamaru asked. No, she's not. I could have known immediately and her own magic would tell her so. Sasuke replied, his Rinnegan activated. Oh, you're here. And stop with the pregnancy talk. It's too early for me to be pregnant once again. Mika waved her hand. Where's my husband, Nai-chan? I threw him to your mother-in-law. Everyone turned their eyes on him. You're plain evil, Sasuke-kun. Throwing your brother-in-law at Kushina-nisan. Kakashi spoke. HN. Please stop bullying my husband. But it's my hobby. Choose another one. Michaela. Naruto's scream alerted them as the Nanadame Hirshin the fuck towards his wife, followed by an insane laughing redhead. Help me. Dad, your wife is insane. Mama Shina is the best, DATTEBANE. Mika commented as the said redhead turned her attention at her. HELLO. You are the one said to be Minato's mistress. Kushina said. Unfortunately, I never understand why they keep comparing you to me, Mama Shina. After all, we do not have the same bust size. Daughter-in-law or not, I'm going to kill you, Dadabane. Kushina shouted while being restrained by the 2 blondes and with Gaara's sand. Why are you offended, Mama Shina? My boobs only grew this big after I gave birth to my eldest son. Mika asked innocently. Mika-chan, stop teasing mom. Naruto plead. Ugh, fine. The 2 of you are insane. Shikamaru gave the Uchiha twins, term for Sasuke and Mika, a head slap each. Bad Uchiha. Bad. We are not dogs, Nara. While they are trying to kill each other, may I know why you want to speak with us, Sandaime-sama? Kakashi spoke. We wanted to know what is your motive here. I admit we are thankful for your meddling in the Third Shinobi War. However, Hiruzen stared at his mismatched eyes. We does not know your objective. The kids are bored. The silver-haired male replied honestly. In addition, their bodies are trying to accommodate their adult chakra systems since the whole gang are thrown back in their younger bodies. I won't tell the whole story, but the gist of it, our original world dimension has been destroyed. With Mika-chan and Naruto's final attempt, we managed to go back in time. In another dimension since our original one is erased. Permanently. Then that means both Minato and Kushina stared at Mika and Naruto. Indeed, Bolt and Rika don't worry, we are working our best so when they are born, everything will be okay. Naruto wrapped his arm around his wife and kissed her temple. Along the next generation. And wrapped some loose ends in magical Britain. Mika entwined her fingers with Naruto. They are part of my past that I want to end early. In the middle of the talks, Uchiha Fugaku along Mikoto and Shikaku Nara appeared. DSK, troublesome. Shikamaru commented who was taking a nap via Shima his pillow beside Tamari. Hi, father, Sasuke greeted his parents. Mother. Hi, Uncle Fugaku, Aunt Mikoto Mika waved her hand. Oh, Ida-chan. Are we talking about my brother? Of course not unless we magically had your son in here along Sarada and Bolt, why not? Stop cheating, Gaara. Naruto shouted as he threw his cards on the table. And no using Sharingan, Mangekyo and most of all EMS in poker. What are you saying, Rudo? I don't have EMS. Sasuke smirked as he laid his cards coolly. I had the Rinnegan. Royal straight flush. Cheater. Kankuro and Naruto dived Sasuke who casually did a substitution just with Shikamaru. Ah. Naruto. Kankuro. Moo, I lost. Mika pouted as she skipped towards Kakashi, who was having an intense discussion with Kushina and Minato. Daddy, I'm bored. Take a nap. We are leaving in 3 hours since Harry said we need to go back. Kakashi's fingers automatically rake her hair as she used his lap as her pillow. Okay, why? Minato chuckled softly as Mika immediately fell asleep. Sapphire blue eyes met Fugaku's own who cannot decide if he would disown Sasuke or not. Changing the future in order to save them it's such a hard task, am I correct? Indeed, father. Kakashi replied as he kissed Mika's forehead. But we will do our best to save our new future for the sake of the next generation. 0. This week is just a filler, Mika complained as they returned to their Konoha. But do admit you did enjoyed your week, Oju-chan. Stella smiled at her master as Kakashi is currently in his room, taking a bath. Indeed. Anyway, any idea about Utakata-sama? Of course, I have. Tell me. The white-haired homunculi smirked. Utakata-sama is currently taking his time traveling towards the land of Fire. The Witch 4. 2 years later. Team 7, Uzumaki Naruto, Hadouken Uchiha Michela and Uchiha Sasuke. Your Jounin sensei is Hadouken Kakashi. Iruka announced. Okay, daddy the newly dubbed Team 7 vanished with a flash just as an eraser were about to hit them on the forehead. The rest of the genins heard the insane cackling of Mika shared by Sasuke. Troublesome. Shikamaru commented while laying upon Shima his chakra version of Chastaful of Nanatsu no Taizai. It was no secret that Shikaku begged his son to tell him where he had gotten such useful item. Shikamaru kept his mouth shut since he is sure as hell his mother Yoshino would hunt down Mika for giving him Shima. I'm going to ground those 3. Our favorite chunin commented, his wedding ring glint on the light. Team 8, Hyuga Hinata, Inazuka Kiba and Aburam Shino. Your Jounin sensei is Kurina Yuhi. Team 9 is still in rotation. Team 10, Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru and Akamichi Chouji. Your Jounin sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. Training Ground 7. Okay, what did you do to Sakura Haruno? Kakashi asked Naruto and Sasuke while Mika was nibbling her lunch. Slip her file to the hospital to become a medic nin. We do not need a fangirl in our team. Sasuke answered honestly. Sure, Sakura-chan became baddest later on, but she's too fixated to team. She's a liability like half of our class. Good thing Shika managed to train Ino out of her fangirl stage. Naruto added. That girl reminds me of Ginny. Much rabid version, actually. Mika commented. Anyways, what shall we do now? To be honest, we know that the 3 of you are a team, so you already passed my test. We could have the usual camping tomorrow. And start the D ranks. The boys made an annoyed look. What's wrong with D ranks? Mika asked in amusement. Thora. It's just a cat. DTNG, in NG Pusa 2. Mika cannot help but to glare her snickering sensei and teammates as she used her chains to emancipate the demon cat. It's been a while since she last cursed in Filipino language and that was 12 years ago. I swear as the mistress of death, this fucking cat will be delivered straight to Azazel to be tortured in hell, and I am going to watch it while eating popcorn and my wine. She swore, tightening her grip on the said yowling cat. Her eyes were flashing her EMS. Enjoy your life, Tora Chan, see you in fucking HELL. Mika-chan, isn't that a bit overkill? Giving her to Azazel-sama? Naruto asked. Of course not. Azazel only accepted VIPs on the racks, you know. The raven-haired girl let out an insane laugh as they gave the cat to the daimyo's wife. The smoother the cat. Kakashi immediately swiped a random scroll Iruka gave to him as he took his team away from the tower. Before Mika killed Tora. Oya, it seems Iruka-chan gave us the wave mission. The silver-haired Jounin commented as they are now on the Hokage office. Can we? Naruto looked at Hiruzen. Of course. Team 7 had the most D ranks made which is 200 with the help of Cage Bushins. Your teamwork is excellent. And according to Kakashi, you three are working on your elemental affinities already. Hiruzen said. Learning shadow clone technique do wonders, no. Mika leaned on her pillow, False's second form. And if you give the Tora mission on us once again, I will kill that motherfucker and deliver its soul to hell. Personally. I will have you meet Tazuna-san later on. The old man gave them a serious look. What do you know about Wave Country now, Michaela? They are currently in the middle of a tyrant named Gato who monopolized their entire country from its raw resources, mainly its pathways. Wave Country is also the only one who had a direct pathway to Yuzu. She replied, adjusting her hideout on her forehead. In other words, Land of Waves is part of my responsibilities as the Crown Prince of Whirlpool Country. Naruto added. This may be filed as C rank, but it should be B rank borderline A rank if Gato did hired several missing nin. We can handle it. Sasuke pointed out, his Rinnegan making its appearance. You heard the kids, Hokage-sama. Kakashi drawled lazily. Here's an eyed Team 7. Ever since Mika appeared in Konoha 3 years ago, he saw the massive change of Naruto, Sasuke and Shikamaru. A year later, Kakashi's massive shift of personality for the better made him suspicious until he saw her eyes. Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, the final form of the prized Uchiha Dijutsu. Coupled with Michaela's ability to become the next bubble mistress made her as dangerous as the missing Rakubi Jinchuriki, Utakata of Kumakagure no Sato. Add to the fact she could wield the exclusive white chakra of the Hada clan. Regardless, he cannot disregard the fact that her appearance saved Sasuke on going down the path his former student Orochimaru walked on. Anbu, please bring Tazuna-san. So, I heard Wave Country had passage towards UZUSHIO. Mika started the conversation towards the bridge builder. Her now emerald green eyes glitter in mischief as she played with her now black hair, her silver highlights are gone. Only in Uzumaki can use the passage, Mika-chan. Tazuna replied carefully. And I am in Uzumaki. Naruto replied, who now had his hair dyed in black. I know you are confused seeing I'm originally a blonde, but my mother is a full-blooded Uzumaki. I just inherited my father's coloring and because of the Yondame's coloring, too many Yamanaka died because of Iwa ninjas who had a grudge against him. Tazuna nodded in understanding. It only took their journey towards Land of Waves a day since they used Mika's rose tags strategically placed on every country or town all over elemental nations. Before that, Sasuke and Naruto disposed the demon brothers without even batting an eyelash as they slit their throats. He is here. Mika commented, her eyes flashing into gold. Rio Arios. A red-pink 5-petal shield appeared, making the KIBIKUBORICHOU bounce away from them. The blade hit the opposite tree where a large man appeared. Lamachi Zabusa, the demon of the mist. One of the 7 swordsmen who pledged to that they would never raise their blade to any Uzumaki unless the said Uzumaki approached them with an intent to kill. Naruto recited as he raised his left arm. He produced the exclusive Uzumaki adamantine sealing chains. You don't look like an Uzumaki to me, brat. Zabusa commented, knowing the boy produced a genuine as hell sealing chains. People always say that, Zabusa-san. Like always, I just look like my father more, but I had my mother's nature. Naruto smiled softly. Ashina Haim's son. The man murmured. However, I am hired to kill the bridge builder, little prince. I apologize but I am merely doing my job. I understand. But we are hired to protect the client. Kakashi dashed towards Zabusa as the two exchanged blows. Mika slapped a rose tag upon Tazuna as Naruto and Sasuke took the bridge builder to his house. Producing several shadow clones, the two boys went back on the battlefield where Mika is now filling with bubbles. This is not the exploding ones, isn't it? Sasuke asked as he used one bubble as his platform. No, it isn't. Mika replied as she beheaded 2 water clones with her staff. The said staff is made out of Mokutan-produced elder tree with 7 colored chakra conductor jewels on it. The 6-foot staff had 4 circles which produced the bubbles infused with chakra and magic. Naruto caught his wife as they did a ballroom dance above the water. Using his chains, Sasuke pulled it and threw the Namikaze Uzumaki couple on Zabusa's direction, startling the missing nin in order to free Kakashi. We decided. Kakashi spoke, not even using his Sharingan in the battle. You will live, Zabusa-san. Naruto needs his 7 guardians after all. Even if the others need replacement. Mika commented. I am well enough to hire you 10 times over. Zabusa stared at her before putting down his sword. You are his mate, are you not? A nod was his answer. Well then, my queen. Let's talk. Naruto cannot help but to roll his eyes. You know, it's kind of unfair that Mamachi-sama immediately upgraded Mika-chan from brat to queen. Mama, darling, it's called charisma. Mika giggled upon the looks of betrayal her husband thrown at her. Unfair, love. Stop flirting. Sasuke shouted. He's just jealous. Kakashi told Zabusa offhandedly. His wife or future wife isn't here yet, so he was brooding. Kakashi-sensei, I am not brooding. The Uchiha exclaimed. Just throwing a tantrum. Naruto pointed out, making his best friend threw him a fireball. Oi. Team 0. Zabusa left Team 7 with a promise that he would no longer attempt on killing the bridge builder. One crisis averted. We need to be careful on raiding Gato's hideout. Naruto commented as they arrived at Izuna's house via Haration. Indeed, Nanadame-sama. Sasuke agreed. When shall we raid the place? Mika-chan, scout butterflies please. The blonde turned to his wife. Of course. Mika replied as bunch of chakra-made butterflies flew from her sleeves. Do you sense any enemies, darling? None. But being careful won't be amiss. Naruto produced at least 30 Kage Bushin who immediately hid their presence and transformed into different things. That shall do. Good work, Team 7. Kakashi gave them a pat on the head before they approached Izuna's house. A Mika clone opened the door who smiled at them before popping out of existence. Hello, we're here. Thank you for the food, Tsunami-san. It's delicious. Mika commented after they ate. It's nothing, Mika-chan. After all the fruits and vegetables you brought were all fresh and ripe. Tsunami, the bridge builder's daughter replied. Gardening is one of my hobbies, Tsunami-san. Also, we heard about what happened to Wave Country. We do not want to be a burden. While Mika is having a small talk with Tsunami, her boys were currently working on the blueprint of Gato's hideout. I still voted on stuffing the place with C4 just for shits and giggles. Kakashi pointed out as he placed a pin in the map. According to my cute daughter's pets, we are going to deal with 3 missing nin besides Zabusa-san. And bunch of cannon fodders. Shall leave those idiots to Zabusa-sama along with Haku-san. What about the bridge? Naruto eyed the unfinished bridge from the map of Wave Country. We can help on making them or we can call the Goblin Nation for assistance. Mika commented while floating above the table via False's second default form flying pillow. Wave Country is placed in a very strategic place, Dattebane just like the Philippines. Add to the fact land of Wave is part of your country, dope. It's your responsibility. Sasuke added. Indeed. Well then, my queen. Please contact the Goblin Nation. It's time to offer them something in return for helping us all those years. The blonde leaned from his chair. On it, darling, I just need to get the Wave Daimyo for this. 2 days of careful surveillance, Mika finished the talks with the Goblin Nation. The said race are very happy to see her once again since they retained their memories. Goblin King Ragnarok actually hugged the Mistress of Death in sheer happiness. We are happy to serve you, Mistress. Ragnarok. Call me by my name. We're friends. With the successful talk between Goblin Nation, the Wave Daimyo and Naruto's revealed heritage, they immediately forged an agreement. Wave Country will be the newest Gringotts branch which in neutral territory. Since the place is part of the Whirlpool country, the restoration of Naruto's country is on the way. The boys meanwhile, are planning on how to destroy Gato. With the joint effort of Sasuke and Haku, they managed to collect all the evidence needed before they raided the place. Oh my, I never thought I would meet the thief. Naruto's sapphire blue eyes flashed into blood red as he saw the thief who took his grandfather's sword. I will taking it back. I do not know your grandfather, brat. The said missing nin of Konoha shouted but paled drastically when the dye on the Jinchuriki's hair is removed. Senju. It's actually Namikaze. The blonde slit his opponent's throat, ending the fight. It's actually anticlimactic, you know. Mika complained as she crushed her opponent's, a samurai, skull with her high heels. She hates rapist, clear and simple. We will be having opponents with the same level as us in the chunin exams. Sasuke flicked the blood from his tanto. Let's continue, Sky-sama, Haim-sama. Of course, Storm-san, both Mika and Naruto replied. Exchange partners. Leave only the ones allowed to live. Kakashi called out. Which is none of them. Mika's insane laughter would be one of Haku's nightmares as he watched a younger girl dance in the blood-soaked hideout. Her once midnight black hair is now red like a freshly spilled blood, same with her zigzag sword. Reap their souls for your amusement, Rosa Ictus. The souls of the dead are being swallowed by false. The glittering of the souls are so beautiful as they filled the pages of the Book of False Darkness. That girl is not a human. Zabusa commented as they watched the carnage created by Team 7. Of course, she is not. She is a battle mage and the current mistress of death. Kakashi replied. That explains everything, Haddock. Carnage and untold trauma aside, Team 7 did not anticipate how strong the nose of one Hiden of Jashin, accompanied by Kakazu. Damn Potter luck. Mika yelled as she exchanged blows with Black Hiden while her boys dealt with Kakazu. Jashin-sama took a female vessel, eh? Hiden laughed upon the glare he received. I'm not Jashin. I don't even remotely look like that idiot, you know. She complained, unleashing her bubbles. Mika is very careful since if Hiden manage even to nick her skin, game over. Forget being a Jinchuriki, it hurts. Summoning Jutsu. Gammon Butamanda. Naruto shouted alongside Sasuke. The two summons shared a brief look before deciding to trash Kakazu, who was laughing hysterically. Div up, lady, and give us the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Hiden cackled as he managed to slash Mika on the chest, sending the black Rakubi Jinchuriki flying. Mika. Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke shouted. Mika weakly stood up, ignoring the bloody gash on her chest. She could feel Seiken knitting her wounds as she used False as her clutch. Yume arrived earlier than scheduled, her hair now turned into silver as False transformed into a familiar gold, black and red sword. I don't even like using him, but you are a nuisance, Hiden of Jashin. Don't tell me. Kakashi's eyes widen as he managed to throw Kakazu on Hiden's side. Mika giggled as she pushed her magic on the sword. Enuma. Elish. The entire battlefield turned into a clear field. Not even a speck of Kakazu and Hiden was left, much to the immortal's ire. Oju-sama, I now have the souls of Hiden and Kakazu. False commented after absorbing the said souls. Good, False. Mika fell on her knees, holding her wounded chest. Coughing blood, she glanced on her teammates who were in the same state like her. Damn, they got us good. We need to train more. Naruto admitted as he carefully approached his wife. Mika, are you okay? I will be. Snow and Seiken are currently busy healing me. She replied as she saw Sasuke healing Kakashi with medical chakra. Nai-san, I told you learning to use medical chakra would be useful. I know. Sasuke replied, his Sharingan fully activated. Do you need any healing? I'm fine. Have Darling checked up. Your wounds are way worse than theirs. You should have the Uchiha looked at you, little sister. Team 7 froze for a moment before the figure removed his cloak. Utakata Niacin. Mika's emerald green eyes widen in shock and disbelief. You remember? Of course we do. Utakata replied as he starts healing her wounds. After all, we have the same Biju in our gut. The Witch 5. 2 months later. Hokage Tower. The Sandaime took a deep breath as he eyed Team 7 well, just Kakashi, Naruto and Sasuke, along the missing Ninjabusa Mamachi and his apprentice, Haku. Haddock Uchiha Mika is currently in the hospital accompanied by the Rakubi Jinchuriki and Bubble Master Utakata. I sent Team 7 for a B rank mission which turned into S-class within a week. In addition, Michaela Haim created another alliance towards Goblin Nation which is strictly from the outside. And the bridge is named the Emerald Chaos Bridge. Hiruzen paused for a moment as he read the report. He put down his pipe and stared at Naruto. Are you ready for this huge responsibility, Crown Prince of Whirlpool Country, Namikaze Uzumaki? Naruto. I am no longer a naive brat you tried to shield upon the horrors of the world, Hokage-sama. I stopped being your Naruto 3 years ago. Sapphire blue eyes bleed with red. The Akatsuki made their move earlier than anticipated. We need the alliance to be built once again and we will make sure to end Kaguya-sama's reign. Are you going to tell me why? Unfortunately, any help you may give us will hamper our progress, Hokage-sama. As long as you listen to those annoying figureheads you called advisors, that is. I understand you are far too old for this, but until we finally fetch Lady Tsunade, please hold a bit more. The Sandaime flinch upon the hidden message. Well then, would you tell me what number are you, Hokage-sama? Naruto smiled softly, making the old man tear up seeing the silhouette of his predecessor. Nanadame Hokage, Sandaime-sama. Konoha Hospital. That was reckless, darling. Mika exclaimed while hitting her husband with a pillow. We are working in the shadows for years, you just need to tell the old monkey. He will need to know this sooner or later. It would be better if he learned this after the chunin exams. I know. Mika stopped hitting Naruto once her mind registered the seriousness of his words. All the plans we have made all those years, half of them are now useless since they had started to move. We need help from the outside. We need Lady Tsunade's help alongside the alliance. In short, we need all the masters of this war. Emerald green eyes bleed to gold in understanding. Letting go of the pillow, she took a lock of her hair. When will we be going to start collecting them, master? Naruto held her cheek. Whenever you are well enough, servant ruler. Master, huh? The couple flinch as they turned around, finally noticing Utakata sitting by the window wearing a jounin uniform. Radiating with overprotective older brother fury. Not that master servant you are thinking, Bakanaisen. Mika closed her eyes as lean on her husband. You took your time to reach me, Ani-sama. I had some things to tidy up, little sister. Utakata approached the two and pulled her into a hug. I apologize if I am late, Michaela. The now silver-haired girl shook her head as she reciprocated the hug. No need to apologize, Ani-sama. As long as you return by my side, it does not matter. I do agree, brother-in-law. Naruto added. The random Anbu squad having a round were startled when a bright yellow-haired teen was thrown out of the hospital room, 5 stories away. Who told you, you are going to marry my little sister? Finally. I had someone in my side. Sasuke fist pump as he cackled while Naruto was running for his life being chased by a furious S-class nin for defiling his little sister. Should I tell Utakata-sama about the betrothal contract created by the Peverell family upon the Uzumakas 400 years ago, Michaela-sama? Ragnarok asked. Maybe later, my friend. Utakata Nayasama may not my brother in blood, but he is way protective of me along Sasuke and Itachi Nayasama. Mika laughed softly as she accepted the tea given to her by the Goblin King. Thank you for visiting me. Like you said, you are a friend. And you are important enough to warrant such visit. You place me in high regard, my friend. But you should, Milady. Seeing Rudo being chased by Utakata-san earlier I could conclude he remembered. Shikamaru asked while writing Shima. Indeed. It seems Ani-sama didn't like it when Rudo called him brother-in-law. As of now, he and Sasuke are planning to salvage him. Mika took a sip of her tea. Chunin exams are approaching. Ara and the others managed to save Rasaheim-sama. The invasion from Sand is halted. The Nara heir reported. In addition, the new seal you placed upon Gaara is going strong. It was one of Rudo-kun's prized masterpiece and edited by Bolt in his spare time. The now silver-haired girl sigh. When will I be released from the hospital? Even if I was the head medic, I don't want to stay here unless it's necessary, you know. Shikamaru chuckled. Just for another week. Team 7, minus you are currently in another mission. What mission and who is my temporary replacement? A mission to take Lady Tsunade back in Konoha and the one who replace you is. I fucking despise Potter luck along your own brand of luck, dope. Sasuke hissed upon Naruto like his summons, while the blonde Jinchuriki is counting 1000 backwards by sevens. In order to not to slit the throat of this annoying pinhead. Garama, is she this annoying in our time? This version is actually 10 times worse. The Biju replied. Even Kakashi is in the verge of killing Haruno Sakura and makes sure it would look like an accident. No, are you insane? I won't be shocked if the boys would stage an accident for her. Mika exclaimed as she appeared on the Hokage office via false. She managed to catch Iruka there too. You knew how much Sasuke Nayasama loathed that fangirl. He barely tolerated Ino-chan. Unfortunately, someone had suggested that pairing since the original Team 7 is supposed to be Uzumaki Haruno-cha. Hirizen's eyes flashed in underlying anger, making Mika understood who is the moron her boys will kill later on. Unless you are okay with Sai. Sai. As in the illegitimate Uchiha who could draw like a pro. That's Sai. With the old man's nod, Mika started to cackle evilly. Where's my new toy, no. Any trauma and anti-brainwashing happening would not be my fault, Mika-chan. Just sign here and finally here. Congratulations, he's now yours. Pleasure doing business with you, no. Mika-chan, you do understand that we are taking about a human being here. Iruka commented as he held false on the end and start pulling the said sacred treasure back to the hospital. Yup. But having Sai is a sufficient payment for the boys. I just hope they could stop themselves from killing Haruno-san. From my memories, this version of hers is 10 times worst. Oh, how unfortunate. 559,552, 545. What the hell are you saying, Naruto Baka? Haruno Sakura screeched, about to punch the blonde. Who glared upon her, eyes bleeding in red. In a flash, Naruto flipped the annoying kunoichi on her stomach, her arms on her back as a tri-point kunai pointed on her neck. Make yourself useful and shut up, Haruno. You are no longer a civilian and keep quiet. Sending you into an accident is becoming more appealing every time you open that annoying mouth of yours. The blonde made his point by nicking her skin. Am I clear? Hi. Good. Now shut up. You are annoying. Naruto stood up and returned on his seat beside Kakashi and Sasuke. Ignoring the now crying girl. Odds, she's so annoying. I would rather deal with Sai and his jokes than this. The blonde hissed. We noticed since you start counting 1000 backwards. Kakashi pointed out, closing his book. Shall we send her back? Not after we saw if she learned something from the hospital. Agreeable. Sasuke commented. If not, send her back and cancel her shinobi license. Girls like her had no place in the battlefield unless being used as a cannon fodder. Worse comes to worse, she either die or used as a sex slave by those scums. Sakura, hearing those cold blunt words from her Sasuke-kun, made her cry even more. That answer our question. Send her back, Uzumaki. The copy nin ordered. Hi, sensei. Naruto stood up, picked up Sakura like a lightweight she is then harassed back to Konoha. Dropping the girl to the Hokage office with a note, the blonde once again vanished, leaving the pinnet in the presence of Hiruzen and Mika, who were having tea. I already told you, no, those boys would never accept her in the gang. Harino Sakura is being brainwashed by her mother ever since she started in the academy that she will become Sasuke Naisama's bride. Mika rubbed the bridge of her nose. Send her to Anko Nichin. We might salvage her. It would be troublesome to let go such promising medic nin for being such a useless fangirl. Could you please sugarcoat your words a bit? The Sandame asked. Of course not. She needs a reality check. Her mindset would kill her teammates and makes her a sex slave by enemy ninjas. Also, telling lies is not part of my operation. Cold blunt truth is. The Hokage sighed before signing another paper. Anbu, bring me Midarashi Anko. Hi, Hokage-sama. A week later. Land of vegetables. What the hell, brat, someone is insane enough to marry you, produce 2 spawns and engage to your insane ideas. Lady Tsunade Senju exclaimed as she managed to recover her future memories via Sasuke Sharingan. Indeed. Lady Michaela Lillian Black Peverell. The second Jinchuriki of the Rakubi Biju, Seiken. Naruto happily chirp. And team over here married Luna Lovegood, Mika-chan's adopted younger sister. They had twins, Sarada and Itachi, while Kaka-sensei married Daddy Iruka. What about you, Naruto-kun? Shizune asked, hugging her pig Tun-tun. I had one black yondaime, Minato Uzumaki Namikaze Jr. Aka Bolt and Rika Uzumaki Namikaze. Rika was 8 when everything went to hell while Bolt, Sarada and Itachi were 13, they are called the Dark Sannin. Oh, it makes me excited to see my grandnephew's wife. Tsunade spoke darkly. And here I thought you were going to end up with either Hinata or Sasuke. What? Tsunade, Shizune and Kakashi laughed upon the horrified look the best friends were sporting. I could understand Hinata-chan, but Sasuke. Naruto looked green on the prospect. Huh? No one told you to. That was actually in the minds of the rest of the Shinobi Alliance. In addition, they have mistaken Naruto's will to return Sasuke into unresolved sexual tension between the two of you. Kakashi gleefully pointed out, laughing at the green look the two boys were sporting. I think Mika-chan illustrated the Sasunaru, or is it Narasasu Dejinshi and Iro Paradise, the yaoi version of Icha Icha. The two boys fainted. Iro Paradise. Iruka read the book title he found from Mika's table a few feet away from the silver-haired girl who was drawing beside a pale boy named Sai. Mika-chan, what's this? Iro Paradise, daddy. It's the counterpart of Icha Icha Paradise, illustrated by yours truly. Mika cheerfully replied as she and Sai cackle in glee. We are going to republish the Wolf's Dolphin and the Fox and the Tengu. For my sanity's sake, I won't ask. Iruka-sensei's self-preservation is activating, Mika-chan. Sai commented as he used her lap as his pillow. Mama, Sai-kun, it's part of the package. Come on, we have been inside for a week. If you pale even further, you will be mistaken as a corpse, you know. And Ino-chan don't do necrophilia. Just messed up minds. Care to tell me why I married her in the first place? According to Hinata-chan, it involves too much sake, inappropriate use of your ink jutsu, and things I do not want to know. I'm pretty messed up in the head, I admit. But boy. Iruka banged his head on the wall. Hataka states. Home sweet home. Mika happily jumped on her bed, much to the exasperation of Iruka. My dear, I missed you so much. No more prodding and drinking yucky potions, Dadabane. Mika-chan is being dramatic yet again. Sai commented as he looked around Mika's room. What will you do on your hair now, Mika-chan? Be a proper haddock. Hiden did manage to hurt me that I needed to use white chakra mixed with Seiken's own in order to heal me. The Rakubi Jinchuriki sat up from the bed. If having my hair turning silver is a price to pay, so be it. No one would contest that you aren't Kakashi's daughter. Iruka added as he placed Mika's bag on the dresser. Sai-kun, did Mika-chan use her Sharingan for you to remember? Indeed, Iruka-sensei. EMS is powerful enough to override the seal in my tongue, and she did have the counter seal. The pale boy replied. How about you, Iruka-sensei? Recover half of them because the 3 little shits wanted a show. The academy teacher rolled his eyes while Mika burst out laughing. Even Sai had a small smirk adorning his lips. But, I am wondering why you didn't return Haruno Sakura's memories. That would be the best, Iruka-sensei. Sai is the one who answered his question. Because, after all the things we have been through, Haruno Sakura is still an obsessive bitch that had no qualms on trying to kill Luna, especially when she was giving birth to the twins Arata and Itachi. Her exact words are, "No one will have Sasuke-kun except for me." That was the reason why even Naruto-kun hated her guts. She tried to kill an innocent child just because she was jealous. I do not have any fond memories of her, so is Sasuke Naisama and Papa Kakashi. I just hope we might salvage her with the help of Anko Nichin. Mika admitted, closing her eyes for a moment. Honestly, I have no time to deal with this shit and I knew Luna would rather kill her next time she pulled that stunt. I have a question, Mika-chan. Sai raised his hand. What? I thought you were going to attend Hogwarts. The reborn witch blinked slowly as Sai's words registered her mind. I honestly forgotten about that. Mika admitted. And I never noticed I'm already 11. Outside nation. Paris, France. Peverell Chateau. Barry smirked as another Hogwarts owl was being used by his lovely wife Setsuna as a target practice. He already wrote a rejection letter for Mika, since there is no way he is allowing his master to suffer the idiocy of magical Britain for the second time. Of course, he knew Mika had forgotten, enjoying her life as a shinobi where she could maim, traumatize or kill, set annoyances without any repercussion. In addition, she's getting paid to do it as long as she won't get caught and no one will point it back to her. Casting a Fiddler's charm over Mika's location is a good strategy. Harry then glanced on the window where he saw Albus fucking Dumbledore trying to disable the wards. Good luck, senile old fool, the black-haired violet-eyed death chuckled in amusement when he saw his wife shoot Albus on the head via rubber bullets. I do not understand why he is here, Setsuna sat on his lap, taking a sip of his wine. The Potters had twins in this timeline and a younger little sister who was abandoned. You knew what is the use of daughters, wife. Harry wrapped his free arm on her waist. I would like to see them try that to make a CHAN. Oh, we will definitely see it. Paddock states. HMP, I don't have time for this shit. Good thing I already changed my name legally. Mika burned down the parchment Harry sent on her via death services. An older twin brother and a little sister, huh? Interesting. Are you going to visit them? Iruka asked while they are having breakfast. Time is faster outside than in elemental nations, daddy. I won't be surprised if they try to summon me this coming Triwizard tournament. Her emerald eyes shifted to violet which turning permanent these days. And I knew about winter. I'm the one who told her to go to Papa Severus. Is that so? I do admit I still had so many things to wrap on England. I'm glad that the Goblin Nation did have now a branch in elemental nations. That makes managing my vaults and businesses easier. Mika motioned the slacks of official letters beside her. In addition, I'm already emancipated so managing them is my responsibility. Your wealth is terrifying, Mika-chan. Sai complained as he waved her bank statement. Old money, dear, which is gathering dust in my vaults. Circulating them is easier since we are trying to revive Whirlpool Country. If everything went smoothly as planned, Yuzushi Agakure would be running back in 2 years. Boards? Currently being made by our best goblin ward masters. I would add my own once finished. When does Team 7 would return? Sai asked. One of these days. Iruka replied. 0. Konoha gates. Yes. We're home. Naruto shouted happily followed by his amused team. Welcome back. Mika suddenly appeared via her semblance jumping on her husband's arms. The silver-haired girl doesn't care if she is only clad in loose green kimono and barefooted. Rudo-kun. Mika-hime, the blonde caught her, then twirled her around before pressing a soft kiss on her temple. I missed you. I missed you too, she whispered on his ear. Sasuke paused, then let out an annoyed huff. He was feeling jealous seeing his sister and Dobe having a PDA while his own princess is not here. Don't be jealous, Sasuke. Luna will find her way on your side, you know. Kakashi told him. I know, and dragging Threstles along the way. The Uchiha smiled softly, remembering his insane wife's antics. So this is the Mika I have been hearing all along. Senju Tsunade made her entrance, cutting the reunion of two lovers. Tsunade Senju, mistress of death. Michaela Uchiha had a Kibikas, Lady Tsunade. Mika gave the blonde Sanin a curtsy. A pleasure to meet such powerful individual. The two head medics shared a look before Tsunade smirked and punched Mika. The flip open false on his Tessin form, fully blocking the chakra-laced punch. It seems Aunt Tsuna wants to play. The silver-haired young woman's eyes flashed into pure violet. Too bad, I'm still on light chakra exercises, that fucking so-called immortal did a number on me. Ah, Hiden of Jashin, so I heard. Tsunade retracted her hand. But how would you be joining this coming chunin exams? I would be running back to normal just before the exams. Thank you for asking. Naruto wrapped his arms on his wife's waist. Would you need to drink some of my blood? He whispered on her ear. I won't say no for a gulp. Mika leaned her head on his chest. Let's go home. Of course. Like Mika predicted, she was now running back to normal after a week of rest and drinking Naruto's blood twice. At first, Iruka was startled when he walked in Naruto's room and saw Mika drinking his blood from his wrist, but after a few explanations about the famous Uzumaki longevity, the chunin just pinched his nose and accepted it. But next time, warn me. Ever since Tsunade first met Mika, the blonde Sannin would be found having tea with the Haddock princess. The two would discuss various of medical teaching that would make Kakashi's mind turn into syrup, fascinated both Iruka and Sasuke, and make Sai terrified when the two head medics start talking about torture by using medical chakra. What, are you sure, Aunt Suna? We can trick the brain receptors so they would think being touched and bleeding to death is pleasurable. Mika asked one afternoon. The males blanch, especially Sai. Of course, we can, dear. After all, I invented the technique. Tsunade replied, watching and sadistically as Kakashi blanch even more. Tried and tested on annoying debt collectors. Oh my, Aunt Suna is such a terrifying woman. The now Silverhead said. However, I do have the dark satisfaction using Crucio more than Imperio. You know what, brat, I could ask Sensei if we can pick one criminal NT and I to play with. I wanted to see that skin-eating spell the Black family has. The blonde medic wrapped her arms over the girl's shoulder. What about I teach you a nifty spell, Aunt Suna? I already had it in chakra version. Mika's smile is not for the faint heart. Oh? May I inquire what it that? Tsunade asked, smiling darkly much to the sanity of Naruto and Sasuke. Chakra version of castration charm for Uncle Jiraiya or Uncle Orochimaru Dattebane. Sai fainted. Every time the boys would remember it, they start shivering in dread. And since Sai is practically a chunin in everything but name, he is not participating the coming chunin exams. In addition, Mika is already well enough that she has been doing D ranks alongside her boys. Especially since Team 7 is abusing the hell out of Kage Bushin to do majority of the work. SOOO, I heard that your Jounin sensei voted for the three of you to enter the coming chunin exams. Tsunade took a sip of her margarita. Whoa, who knew Sasuke had talent in bartending and mixing drinks? This is good. Yes, Papa knew the plan. Mika let out a soft giggle as she took a bite of her sundae. In addition, you should have seen Itachi Niasen make his special drink Amaterasu. I swear, Anko Nissen was about to have an orgasm after taking a sip. And yeah, the entire rookie 12 along the Jounin senseis, Iruka, Sai and Hei, is that Yamato senpai, were present in the pool party held at Haddock Estates. As everyone here had their memories back? Partially, yes. What shall you do, Godim-sama? Mika stared at the blonde bombshell. The inauguration will be held after the chunin exams. Moreover, my appearance is hush-hush that your little pet Kabuto won't manage to report me on his precious lord. Tsunade leaned on her chair. Any plans, princess? The whole Various squad would be unleashed, Bachan. Naruto answered, pulling his wife on his lap and pressing a kiss on her cheek. We are going to rain havoc. Chaos and mayhem, dope. Don't you forget that. Sasuke shouted from the pool area. Of course. Kakashi chuckled from his area where the adults are. I believe this coming chunin exams would be very entertaining, the copy nin commented. That I believe so, Yuuhi Kurenai, the Jounin sensei of Team 10 agreed. To the chunin exams. Asuma Sarutobi exclaimed. Cheers. Chapter 7 Chunin Exams, Part 1. Ninja Academy. Examination rooms. So, you know the rules. Good luck. Mika-chan, Sasuke-kun, do not antagonize the examiners too much. Naruto-kun, Iruka and I would appreciate if you don't start flirting with your girlfriend in the middle of the exam. Kakashi last-minute instruction. Are your toys and playthings ready? Team 7 had a terrifying grin in their faces. Of course. After all, we are taught by the best. Mika replied haughtily. Oh, my babies grew up so fast, the copy nin wiped the tears in his lone eye. Iruka-sensei is the best, Databeo. Naruto exclaimed, making Kakashi stumble. Like cute little genins are not cute anymore, he complained. Okay, Iruka-sensei will hear about this. Sasuke said amusedly. Iruka, they hate me, Kakashi cried while hugging his husband's waist. Hi. Iruka patted his husband's back as he gave the kids a look. Good luck, Team SEVEN. We don't need luck, Iruka-sensei. Mika folded her arms as the boys moved on her side. Because we are going to be chunin, Databeo. The whole team shouted, making Team 9-Lee give them an eye roll. How long did you practice that? Higurashi Tenten asked Mika. Just an hour ago. Sasuke replied. Anyways, we should go. Agreed. Hyuga agreed. Yosh. Let's show them the power of youth. Lee shouted. Team 7 along Kakashi and Iruka immediately wore their guy special sunglasses, making the rest suffer on that infernal genjutsu. Both Kurenai and Asuma strangled Kakashi for that. They didn't even spare Iruka a glance. The chunin would make their lives more difficult if they do. Panda-chan. Mika exclaimed. I, Hadaka-cha. Gaara calmly greeted his sort of sister-in-law. Ma, you have been trying but do remember I don't stay dead. The silver-haired witch waved her hand. I really hope we would be fighting in finals, Michaela. The redhead told her, making Naruto roll his eyes. And don't need your opinion, Naruto. Mika-chan, Gaara, please refrain from killing each other, Tebeo. Wait until the finals. The blonde-haired Jinchuriki ignored the threat thrown at him. Sasuke-kun. Ino Yamanaka shouted, making Shikamaru hit her upside the head. Stop shouting, troublesome blonde. Lie low. The Nara air hissed. Hinata giggled watching her friends. Like the past, or alternate past, Yakushi Kabuto spoke to them. When Sasuke inquired about his ninja cards, the white-haired teen paled and politely left them. The first part of the exam was a breeze, even Mika cut the original 21 groups into 10. Ibiki just glanced at her, knowing she is the culprit. Mitarashi Anko made her appearance, whistled in appreciation seeing only 10 teams of chunin hopefuls. She told them to meet on training ground 44, Aka Forest of Death. Oh, the IRONY. Currently. Insane laughter filled the air as Team 7 fell on their roll. As Orochimaru played with them, both Mika and Sasuke are weaving complex hand signs as Naruto distract the Sannin. When Mika landed on the ground and slammed her bloody palm on the forest floor. Bubble release, fallen endeavor. Bubbles appeared from the ground. With another set of hand signs, those bubbles turned into chains. Show them your wrath, Enkidu. Amaterasu, Sasuke muttered. Rasengan. Naruto shouted. The snake Sannin's golden eyes widened in shock as 3 different attacks hit him. Even if the trio managed to fully incapacitate him, his shed skin technique surely helped him survive. Damn it, Sasuke cursed, wiping the blood from his forehead. How annoying, Mika commented. Agreed. The bastard had 9 lives. Naruto adjusted his eyeglasses. More likely Horcruxes. The Uchiha prince muttered. I could agree. Mika pulled out her wand. Let's drive him away. Yes. Orochimaru meanwhile cannot help but to salivate. In front of him are the so-called Uchiha twins who had both matured Sharingans and the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. He does not need Itachi anymore, these two are more powerful than what he expected. Orochimaru-sama, please remove that look from your face. It's making me nauseous. Sasuke flick his tanto which cackle in lightning. I do share my brother's sentiment. Mika's emerald green eyes now full shifted into violet as Naruto pulled out twin guns from his tattered jacket. It's creepy, Dadabeo. I'm going to possess the 2 of you. The snake Sannin told them, panting in excitement. 1 for my goal and 1 for my bed. New plan, kill him. Naruto's sapphire blue eyes shifted into blood red. Crucio. Sasuke shouted, throwing wandless torture curse towards the snake who managed to dodge the first few, but Mika used the distraction to imprison Orochimaru into one of her bubbles. The blonde Jinchuriki pointed his guns towards the bubble prison. Orochimaru watched fascinatedly as black and red chakra bleed through his body, fueling the tennis-sized bowl of energy from the gun's muzzle. Rasengan bullets. Naruto uttered before pressing the trigger. Before the Sannin knew, he is already missing half of his body. Lightning release. Holy Spear of Heaven. Fire release. Great Phoenix Fireball. Whirlpool release. Maelstrom's Legacy. Those 3 overpowered attacks hit the remains of Orochimaru, obliterating his remains. The shock of the said combine attack shook the entire forest of death, making Shikamaru facepalm, and Hinata burst out laughing. Kakashi Iruka, what the hell have you two been teaching those 3? Asuma asked, seeing the damage Team 7 had caused. They just hated a particular snake. Iruka replied nonchalantly, taking a sip of his tea. But I do admit they could make much more collateral damage than this. Ring cut the additional questions. Hello, Mika-chan. Kakashi answered the chakra-powered cell phone. Our hunch is correct, please tell Aunt Suna, Orochimaru had Horcruxes. Mika spoke the next line as she and her team ran towards the tower. I do not know how many, but I still could feel the bastard alive and well. False confirmed to me that she haven't absorbed his soul, only a sliver. Is that so? Do you have a guess on how many? I believe 4 or 5, 6 if we added Anko-chan's cursed mark. The Haddock princess watched her husband through a freaking C4 on the rain team. Boom. Michaela, tell Naruto or Sasuke stop destroying the whole forest. Iruka called out. No promises, daddy. Art is a bang, you know. Please refrain on quoting that insane Iwanin. Laughter could be heard next line before the call ended. Tower. Do you really need to throw a freaking C4, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked in amusement after she finished healing Kiba. Sorry, Hinata-chan, my hand slipped. The blonde Jinchuriki smiled innocently. Bullshit, I tell you. Kiba shouted as Shino hummed in agreement. Hitting aside, we should rest. Mika rubbed the bridge of her nose. She just finished talking to both Shikamaru and Gaara. Varia, scatter. Yes, Haim Sama the Konoha 12 replied. Are we still having prelims? Naruto asked Kakashi while they are having tea. I don't know since someone I knew dispose another 3 teams. Sasuke coughed before looking away, so is Naruto. It does not matter. Mika. The plan should commerce. Team 7 shared a look. Because only 7 teams were remaining, the Sandaime forgo the prelims and decided to had an electronic matchup. Same matchup last time. However, instead of Sasuke and Gaara, Mika and the red-haired Jinchuriki were the ones going to battle. While they have a whole month to train, once again they would fall in their roles. However, Mika would be trained by Harry about her heritage even more, while Sasuke and Naruto would start calibrating the wards inside the Hokage monument. Being a Senju Uzumaki and a Jinchuriki to boot, Naruto could handle it, while Sasuke would recharge the Uchiha wards. Odds, so many things to do. Goddamn troublesome. Shikamaru complained while shifting all the Anbu and Shinobi identities inside Konoha. They do not want a repeat of Kabuto. Thank you very much. Stop complaining, Shika. Ino grumbled. Choji, chips. Choji just opened another bag of chips. Why do I feel something unexpected will happen in the chunin exams? Mika spoke out of the blue a week before the said exam. We just injured Orochimaru so we could expect him in the finals. Naruto pointed out. I know that, but for the life of me I cannot stop thinking everything would go fuber. Sighing, her now violet eyes looked at the sunset clearly viewed at the Haddock Estates. Naruto hugged his wife from behind. We are here along the whole gang. You are not alone in this, dear. I know I'm just worried. I can't help it. SHH, just relax. I know, but it's a bit early, but want to go to bed. I missed cuddling you. Mika sighed in amusement. Okay, let's. Hokage Tower. What is this, Sasuke-kun? Hiruzen asked as he and Tsunade, along Shikamaru, Shikaku and the Haddock couple stared at the map. Marauder's map, Konoha version. The elemental countries aren't available yet. Sasuke replied. Dobe and I along Mika-chan recreated it a few weeks ago, and we are the cause of insanity and panic of the Ceiling and Barriers division. It's keyed to the wards and its people. Basically, this baby will reveal who exactly are you even if you are in henge or any other disguise techniques, Shikamaru added. That includes polyjuice potion and even seals. That was pure genius. Shikaku explained. Praise Mika-chan's godfathers for this. Anyway, it's blood-locked so Danzo cannot either steal or use this. Either way, we had so much traitors. Sasuke tapped the zoom mode which reveals his hidden route HQ. Names appeared beside so many dots that made the Sandaime start cursing. Does the audio work? Shikamaru glanced at his friend. Ready to use and with recording app. Bolt had a blast revising it along with the dope. The Uchiha heir shook his head. Remind me not to give that boy our coffee laced with pepper up potion. The Nara heir gave him a deadpan look. Do I look like a suicidal to you? Just say yes, baka. Rolling his eyes, Sasuke produced a sealing scroll and released its contents. These are called detaining seals. Made for root specifically. Slap these to any operatives and they are easier to deal with. It also removes the suicide kits and counter the secrecy seals on their tongues. Courtesy of Sai. Sai? As in Mika-chan's new toy. Tsunade asked. He's Ino's husband. Shikamaru said, ignoring Inoichi Yamanaka's cries in the background. We can now catch them. How effective Mika-chan's anti-root brainwashing, Shikaku asked. Very much. She managed to turn Sai into a normal human being without sexual innuendos mixing every sentence. The Nara heir answered. But we need Professor Snape's potions. Mika-chan already sent a letter. All we need is to wait for his reply since Winter is sick. Sasuke flinched as his cell phone vibrated. A quick look, he accepted the call. Excuse me, hello professor. Tell the brat I'm arriving in 2 days so she needs to file the proper paperwork. Is Tsunade Haim there? I would need her help for Winter. Severus's voice held wariness and worry. Lady Tsunade is here. You can come now. The Uchiha said after the busty-san and signed at him. A large mirror shard appeared beside Shikaku, revealing a tired potion master carrying an albino-haired girl who was shivering. We will continue our talk. I had a brat to heal. Tsunade announced as she pressed her palm over the 10-year-old girl. Hi, Gadim-sama. What if Naruto chose Mika as his mate? Harry Potter end here and thanks for watching my video till the end.